Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell? So what the hell? What are you waiting for now? And what the hell? You're pretending that you like somebody else, like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? Are you waiting so for what the hell? So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Titans of Tier 3 Playoffs. It's the $1,000 playoffs of Season 1. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me is Ari. And Ari, we're doing some winners finals today.
Yeah, this is kind of an important game if you don't know, because like the winner of this goes to the grand final. That's the big shebang. That's the big shaboing boing, and maybe they're there too. I don't know, but that's the game you want to be at. So these teams, they're really fighting for this. You don't want to have to risk going through that lower bracket. Just win this, and you are in. But they got a tough BO3 ahead of them.
Yeah, it's a best of 3 between RyZe, Esports, and Team Virtuosity. And this matchup is one of the most interesting matchups I think we're going to be seeing throughout this entire playoffs. RyZe has been a pillar of consistency in Titans of Tier 3. They lost one game, one best of 3 series so far throughout all of Titans of Tier 3, and it was to Team Virtuosity.
Oh.
And Virtuosity has had a really kind of interesting story. They've had a couple roster rebuilds. They had a roster rebuild coming into this playoffs. So, but this team, they've still shown excellent consistency. They've made it to the winners finals against some pretty impressive teams. So for this best of 3, as we get into this map select, I'm expecting something amazing. And you can see these maps. I think these are all pretty cool maps to be going to. We're starting things off on Lotus. That's RyZe's map pick. Then we're heading over to VR's choice of Breeze. And then if we need it, if we need that decider, it's going to be Sunset. Ari, how do we feel about these maps? I already said my piece, but...
As a player, I would hate to play Breeze and Sunset. But as a caster and an analyst, I love to watch Breeze and Sunset. There's so many different comps that you see, so many different plays, and that's why it's annoying to be as a player, because you just can't predict what that enemy team is going to be doing. So having all of those maps there for your availability is something that these teams will look forward to. But we start off with Lotus at the beginning of today, and that's a little bit more traditional. Teams know how to play this map a little bit more. Sure, there's some variability on those comps, but you typically will see that A aggression. So we'll see if these teams can capitalize on bringing this one in.
So I would agree that just with the way that Lotus is in kind of the set in the meta, you talked about Breeze and Sunset having all those different comps, right? Something that I find interesting is that with Lotus, they also have some of those different comps. It's not to the same extent, but we do see, a drastic difference between that double controller versus like the double initiator comps that some teams have been starting to run. Like we've seen a lot of like Gecko Sky and Gecko Breach run on Lotus, which I think is a little interesting. So I'm kind of excited to get us started on Lotus, really sink our teeth into the meat of this best of 3 series and see what it has to offer.
Yeah, and this best of 3 is something that you're gonna love to see the end of, and hopefully you do get to that map 3 at the end of the day. Certainly love to see those longer games, the higher competition, but of course these teams want to get this one done and early. Over with 2-0, get them out of here. You're going to the grand final, but before they can do that, they got to go to Agent Select for map number 1, which is going to be Lotus.
It's Lotus already, and you can already see from RyZe, they're locking in, Pain on that kind of staple of the Omen. Hendog going over to that Fade, so it seems that they're going to run that Fnatic comp, right? The solo Fade initiator, presumably with double controller. But this, actually, no, this doesn't make sense role-wise, because Knights is a duelist player by trade, and this would put him onto a Viper. And I don't think Knights is particularly, a Viper player. He could prove me wrong here, but I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, hey, maybe there's some things that they got up their sleeves that they're saving for these playoffs, for these wild cards. So I'm going to let them play who they want to play. I'm not going to associate one player with a specific role. So let them show us what they have. I don't want to put like that preposition point on them. Let them prove us wrong. Let them show us how it's done. And that's why they're on the field and we're up here.
Yeah, well, as Agent Select begins to wind down, you can see Team Virtuosity, they have opted for that kind of standard comp with the Sky and the Viper. Oh, Knights actually just dodged. So that That actually explains why we didn't get to know what Knights picked. He just straight up dodged. He says, maybe, you know what? Maybe there was a mispick. Maybe he's AFK. Who knows? We're going to have to solve this. We have to solve this issue very quick.
That's GG, right? That's game
Yeah,
one.
that might be it. That might be
Right.
it. Yeah. Who knows?
All right, so 1-0. We move on to the
We
next
move on to
map.
Breeze. No, we're just gonna have to fix a couple issues. So, actually, what I think we might do is potentially just throw it to break for a little bit, and then we come back. We're not even going to do any of the analysis stuff. We'll just jump right into the game. No, never mind. Never mind. I'm being told no break. There's no such thing as a break. We're stuck here. We're stuck in purgatory waiting for Lotus to jump back in. So, I mean, in the meantime, we kind of saw a preview of Virtuosity's comp with that solo Sky, right? How do we feel, especially now that we've really seen the extent of these Sky nerfs, about a Sky on Lotus as a solo initiator?
I mean, I don't hate that. I don't hate it. Sure, there's some things that you can do with that Gecko and with that Breach or Fade or Sova, whoever you want to combo with, but Gecko cannot be a solo initiator. Gecko has that really OP flash over towards that waterfall area, but you need someone else to actually get that info. Because Gecko is a contact initiator, you need someone else to pair it with, and that means sacrificing something else in your comp. So that double controller that you certainly feel like you need, no longer you can have it unless you're sacrificing, again, even more things in your comp. So that's why they're going to stick with that solo Sky. You get the info, you get the flashes, you got that dog. It's going to clear out sight for you. So RyZe will do the hard and heavy hitting for you.
Yeah, we'll have to see what that RyZe will be able to bring into this. It's going to be kind of interesting as well, because for what seems to be RyZe's comp, if everything that we saw from those 4 players locked in is true, then it's not gonna be a double controller comp. It would probably end up being double duelist with Fade as a solo initiator. And I'm trying to think, is this just gonna be Knights going over to the Yoru and just having a little bit of fun with it, or is it going to be... I'm just a little confused here. Like, what do you think we're gonna actually see from RyZe?
I mean, if they do go for that solo Fade, there are some things that we have been seeing out in those VCT and those higher elo games and such like that. There's Yoru. There's even Neon that we've been seeing. So that could be the thing. That could be what's going on. They could throw in that Neon. We've seen it before. We'll surely see it again. So that might be that magic trick that they've got pulled out for us today. And that's hopefully going to help them take the edge in this BO3 that they might have slipped a little bit on last time.
I mean, it is kind of an interesting thing, because for these kind of like teams and players, it's a really interesting dynamic where you have the solo initiator Sky, where it's so limited because none of that utility is on refresh. It almost feels like with if you're running that and you're running the solo initiator Sky, your game plan on Lotus is super rigid and super structured, which, knowing VR, that's probably how they want to play things anyways. They want to have some of those protocols set in place, play a really sort of structured, fundamental style of Valorant. Whereas for RyZe, I mean, they do have a fair bit of gunpowder to their advantage, right? We know Knights is not a force to be reckoned with in terms of the mechanics. Same thing with Zaj, and even Ihendog, will have his moments from time to time. So I'm just wondering if that is the reason that maybe we're seeing that difference in like, team roles and dynamics.
I mean, I think you could put Knights maybe on that Gecko. You have that Fade Gecko, and you put kind of that duelist-ish, that pseudo-duelist initiator type feel on that comp. And so what that's going to do is going to still keep them in the same role, still allow them to be successful, and overall they should be in, a pretty comfortable place. But it all is going to help with their play styles as well. Comps and play styles, they very much intertwine, and depending on what one you play, you have to play a certain sort of style. And so You'll see Viper lurks versus Viper aggression versus Viper holds. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with all of these characters, and that's why we play the game. That's why we watch the game, and that's why I'm so excited to see what we have in store for us.
I would love to, but I'm still pretty sure that players are like plugging in and out their routers. I am actually trying to figure it out. I think someone might have been, like chewing through their router cable, like it was a Twizzler. But I think, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm gonna press the caster start game button. I just pressed it, so we should be able to get into agent select at any given moment. And here we go. And you can see, I think these players, they understand that, we've been kept on the loose for too long. And I'm seeing Knights hover Harbor.
That's a new one.
No, that's Reyna. That's Harbor. That's Reyna. That's Harbor. That's
Anyone got
Reyna.
a coin? A coin? Coin? Flip it?
Can we flip the coin? Can we see? Is it Reyna? Are we gonna see Reyna on Lotus? And if so, how do we feel about Reyna on Lotus?
I don't honestly mind that.
Gecko now everything is upside down. It's back to Knights. You know what? We're gonna ignore him for now. Let's talk about just the difference between the Sky and the Fade.
True.
I think we.
Sky and Fade. Dogs though. Dogs.
Well,
dogs.
Fade has cats. Fade doesn't have dogs, and Knights does lock in the Reyna. So the difference in this comp, realistically, is that Viper versus that Reyna. And I mean, where is the value that you're looking for with Knights here?
Well, you said Knights is not a force to be reckoned with. That aggressive nature most likely will be showing, and that's something that they're kind of preying on to help them through this game. If there can be that Knights aggression, getting kills, holding that angle, and being that threat on Reyna, I can see why you would pick him pick Reyna instead of Gecko, and it kind of provides a different atmosphere. And like we talk about, we'll change the play styles, change the mind games a little bit, and we are going to have a game on our hands. That's, we talked about variability in the comps, and here they are.
I sure did. I wasn't expecting this many differences, this much, to be off meta from the side of RyZe, but I guess beggars can't be choosers, can they? At least not in this case.
I mean, you never know. They chose the map, so that's something.
That's true. Well, they chose this map, but Team Virtuosity chose to start this half on the defense. So they're here on this pistol round, and you can already see it is just Santa alone at this A site, as all of these players, they've pathed in through tree. Virtuosity has given this up. They're ready for this retake, and look, it's a 4-man flank through spawn.
I honestly don't like this play. I think it's just really, really hard to basically be attacking when you've already wasted some of your util, and now you have no clue where everyone's at. And Exile will show you why it's maybe not a great idea, but 3 picks go in favor of RyZe. They're still, in favor of Virtuosity. They are still very much in this one. Hendog has to find something here and find one and gets out alive. Knights will also get one, and now it's 2v2. The bomb is ticking. So there's the initial tap, but the picks will go in favor of both teams. Here's a 1 HP remaining, and it's Cooper that comes out on top. The 3K with the classic.
Cooper, the clutch phenom. What is that from him? Able to get together that 1-0 start. 3 kills on this Omen. This is a guy who I've seen him shine his best on those initiator type roles, like the Fade, the Sova, some of that more passive play. He comes over to this Omen, and it looks phenomenal from him. He's able to go on that retake. Really good call out of Virtuosity to do that 4-man flank. The fights go in their favor because RyZe was playing that post plant so close to the site itself. They were able to, isolate a couple of those fights when RyZe came out for those picks. Virtuosity was able to capitalize, and now they're sitting here and they get to, take this anti-eco.
The initial flash coming on out, giving that info that there's still somebody lurking outside A and that they're pushed up over towards Rubble. But are they aware that there's going to be a swing through the smoke? Yes, they are. Bless will get 2, Cooper 1, and Virtuosity saying, we read you like a book. We know exactly what you're going to do. And now RyZe is kind of stuck in a little bit of a hole here.
Yeah, RyZe, unfortunately stuck in. Bless gonna send out that Trailblazer just to try and spot out some players. It's just Zaj and Exile left in this 2v4. I mean, Sheriff shots could be good. You know, they could take away a couple heads, but Santa being really clean on that jump peek. It's going to be Bless to take out one before getting traded out. So 3 kills for the Sky in this round. And Exile in a 1v3 of his own. 4 kills would be required from this Killjoy. And Santa's already starting that wrap. And Exile, yeah, you're not going to be able to find it. You never expect the Santa peek out from Hut. So Virtuosity still keep the majority of their players alive on this anti-eco.
Yeah, I mean, they played it really nice, though. Virtuosity, they said, hey, we're going to hold that smoke. We're not afraid of you. And now maybe a little bit of a dilemma on who's deciding to take the bomb. But it ends up being this Killjoy, which, you know, that's a pretty valuable ultimate to get online earlier. You want to be able to retake C, especially when you can sense that C hit coming fast. And with Killjoy, that's something that we're going to be seeing a lot of. Yes, she does a great job of anchoring that sight down, but if you play it right, you can destroy all of that util and then be in for free. It's all just in the mind games, and Virtuosity, they're going to look to convert on a bonus round here, but it's not looking too hot as they just have a few Sheriffs in there thrown in with some Bulldogs.
It's just a couple Sheriffs, but you know what? These Sheriffs can still find value, because as long as you're hitting that headshot, Cooper could still do a ton of damage here. But look at this play that Virtuosity have done. They've left that C site completely open. They want to brawl out towards A. They want to take these fights, but Zaj and Bless actually are starting to gun them. You said that Sheriff couldn't do much, but it's 3 kills out from the Sky, and now it's a 1v2, and Knights lines them up! What a clutch from Knights! That's ridiculous! RyZe, that's how you find your first round?
Well, that's very nice. I would like that every round. You know, I would love to see some sort of clutch like that. But unfortunately, RyZe, they can't depend on those fights to go their way every single round. You can't hope for Virtuosity to make those mistakes. And sure, I wouldn't really call it a mistake there, as, you know, Sheriff and 2v1, you got to swing. You're trying to play aggressive, do damage. But it's just something that, if you let them get all of that map control up A like they did, they're winning that Valorant chess game. So you gotta find that opening where you can strike, and as opposed to, you know, getting maybe forced on and having to play a little bit back more.
They're forced to play back now. This is such a good push by Team Virtuosity. Take control of that A main space, see what you can find. Cooper just gonna set that smoke, that little one-way, make sure that these players from RyZe can't really maintain that control. The gap for Virtuosity in this round is towards that B site, and you can see now as Knight starts to explore it, it might trigger some rotations here and possibly enable a push for A. There's that Sky Seekers. Yeah, it tells them this A main fight is happening.
Ooh. Yeah, RyZe is going to get that one off the back of the Seekers, which is really nice. That's why they use that Seekers. It's giving them that information, but they must be thinking, wow, that's a lot of noise made on B and A. Surely we could just run on C, but no, there's a Viper there. T-Bite has a lot of support, and now with that Omen teleport has even more. It's all about to the bullets now, and Knights will land that first shot, so they will be able to get bombed down here, but it's only a matter of time before that flood comes in through that mound. But Cooper says, I got a gun of my own. I'm going to shoot you down. And he gets 2 for the round so far.
It's a 2-on-4 RyZe in this post plant. It's Zaj and Exile. 2 players we've seen a lot of so far. We need to see them actually go big here. It's Exile to start things off with 1, but World RyZe, 3 kills for that RyZe. Man, he's looking too clean. He's able to clean up those remaining players on RyZe, secure that retake in. Santa gets that defuse, gets that lockdown one step further to coming online. VR up 3-1.
I mean, that's beautiful aim there by Virtuosity. That's something that you can't really avoid in a 1v2 or 2v2 scenario there. It's just perfect aim. And, you know, I was surprised Virtuosity didn't really use any util there, maybe a satchel peek, something like that, but at the end of the day, they just land the shots. They're saying, hey, we're better. We've got this confidence in us, and we are not going to let it slip. Yeah, Knights had a lucky round where he killed a lot of us, but It's not going to happen every round. We're going to show you why we won last time, and it's with this A aggression every single round.
Well, speaking of that A aggression, on the other side of things for RyZe on this eco, it's about that C aggression. It's about trying to take that space and bait out those op shots. Sure, Santa's here alongside WorldRyze to support him in case he gets in hot water. But with all the players here and all that utility that's getting here for RyZe, it's just about grouping up and seeing if you can find one.
And they don't actually tend to hit this C site here. They decide to back off. They see the operator thinking, maybe we don't want to hit an operator. That's a little annoying, but now they have to run face first into Cooper. Hopefully Cooper doesn't give him a gun. He gets one pick for his troubles, but he will fall, so that's really, really good for RyZe. They collect a rifle. They collect numbers advantage. And yeah, there's now a lurk.
And they've all rotated off. WorldRyze completely running away, missing that timing. Exile has so much space. This spike is gonna go down, and WorldRyze could catch a timing, and that he does. The play is gonna be kind of revealed at this point. They know that C site is the one under attack, but WorldRyze alone, kind of cornered. If Zaj takes a timing here, he could catch that off guard. Knights is here for one. If he finds Pain, he could put numbers in firm hands, but Zaj now, it's WorldRyze in such a tough position. He has to buy time for T-Bite on this flank from Mound. There's so much opportunity for either of these players, for any of these players, on the side of RyZe to make a huge play. If T-Bite gets caught off, which he does, it turns it into a 1v1. WorldRyze, are you expecting Pain in CT? No, you're not. It's a thrifty for RyZe. And that's how they find their second. And I mean, for RyZe, it's just been like every round that RyZe win, it's been like a clutch or a thrifty or like one alive.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to Cooper's fight. Cooper really needs to get to, I mean, just the fact that you lose 2 rifles, you're donating all of that space, all of those numbers. It's just not what you want to do, and it's going to put you on the back foot. You're going to get that lurk up like we saw, and will get you the round. So basically, once they win that fight over an A main, they're destined to win that round. Unless there's some sort of heroics, which you don't want to do if you have the gun advantage. I feel like that's something you don't want to be in the position of.
You definitely don't. Hey, speaking the position, I don't envy Coop's position right now. As you can see, that site, it's being completely overwhelmed with utility, and poor Cooper, he's only here with a sheriff. He's just holding, waiting, buying time. T-Bite's taken down by stairs, and Cooper, the shots just get whiffed a little bit. Knights takes him out cleanly, and WorldRyze, yeah, you're not going to be able to find much either. Wes is here towards drop. He's immediately done. That's a flawless anti-eco from RyZe.
I see what you mean when you said Knights is a demon with that aggression, and showing it there with that eco, not afraid to be confident. I mean, you got the pistol right click in there just for a little bit of good luck. So, right, that's got to be good luck, right? The pistol right click.
I would say so.
I think if those are landing, you're in for a well-placed map and a well-oriented game. But 3-3 is now the score. We see it tied up, and Virtuosity was looking strong towards it, but RyZe is striking right back. And 2 even ultimates for both of these teams, but still the same old A aggression.
That's same old, same old. So, and that's the thing about this kind of A aggression from Virtuosity is you have to give up space somewhere else. And you can see they're playing that double passive setup towards C, and it almost kind of helps Knights in a big way where, you know, he's able to just kind of maintain that presence and take it. And it puts a lot of pressure now for Virtuosity onto Bless and WorldRyze, who actually need to kind of go big and frag out here in these power positions. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous from Knights.
Knights, yeah, shouldn't have got that timing, but he did, because that's Valorant for you, and that's going to prompt out the C hit. Here will be some sort of stall kind of requested for T-Bite, but invest the Viper's Pit instead. So backing all the way off and not even playing in the pit might be a smart play. We'll see if it pays off, and looks like it's going to go okay for the moment, but Bless gets one early, so that's something. And the bomb isn't down. Don't forget about that. There is no timer ticking for Virtuosity. It's only there for RyZe right now, and this is going to be pain for them, but oh, Bless is a superhuman and will get 4 on the round. Bless you.
Bless just blessed Virtuosity with a 4th round there, a 4K out of the sky. I said, you know, World RyZe and Bless, it puts a little bit of pressure on them towards A main. I forgot about the fact that because Knights has all that space towards C, if Santa or T-Bite, you know, they go exploring over towards that C side and they get caught out by Knights, it does open that opportunity. But what good agency on T-Bite, the caller for this squad, to back up, say, hey, listen, they're going to have to push up into my Viper's pit. They're going to have to kind of take the aggro, invest a lot of utility into that, and we can just flood retake that C site before the spike even gets planted. It's a super good call by Virtuosity to get their 4th.
That's crazy. More A aggression? I never would have imagined that. Surely if it hasn't been working for the past few rounds, or if it has been working, that they're not going to do it again, right? No, they did exactly that. And look at that Viper wall. Beautifully played for that too, but Bless gets one early, and another pick early on A as well, so that's not quite what you want to see.
It's not at all, and you also don't want to see Zaj double satcheling in towards Rubble, able to take out World RyZe, but Bless and Cooper, you know what, they're there, they're consistent, they're ready to frag, and they're ready to give Virtuosity a 5th round. And this is just kind of showing the fact that RyZe, because you don't really have those flashes outside of Knights, you don't really have an answer for this A aggression, right? You have to try and rely on Zaj's timing with those double satchels, but if he can't find those picks, then you're kind of screwed, and you're screwed out of A. You need to make presence somewhere else on the map to draw those rotations away from A. And you know, if your solution to that is, oh, well, let's have Knights lurk on the Reyna, he needs to be able to find something on it. In these past couple rounds, he's been getting shut down without finding anything. Like in that last round, he wasn't able to find anything.
Well, I was just going to say, have they won a round where Knights hasn't gotten a 3K?
I don't know, but I do know that Bless has come out onto the site and been traded out by Santa. It's this B-site execute on this eco, and it's been even trades so far for RyZe, and now that Payne has a rifle in his hands and he's able to take out Santa, Virtuosity, you could be getting thriftied again, unless T-Bite can go huge here for a 1v3.
Well, yeah, the 1v3 now turned to 1v2, so that's at least a start, and here's the tap, but now it's been 4 seconds, knows that they're not planting it, but now they're going to have to commit to the A instead, and that's, you know, really nice play by them. They can play together. You have to clear the entirety of the site, and Killjoy ultimate invested as well to stall this one out even more. I mean, you can slip into drop if you really do so want, but the turret, the turret's going to discover you if you do, so well played by RyZe, even just the smaller things.
This is super well played by RyZe, and now you can hear those footsteps coming in. T-Bite just making a ton of noise, trying to get all of that presence confirmed. Alarm bot going in. T-Bite has to spray it out. It's a high-low being held by RyZe. He's probably not going to be able to get this one. Yep, there it is. Super well played by RyZe with the numbers. They're able to get their 4th in what feels like a round that should have never left Virtuosity's hands.
I mean, I definitely feel like there was some sort of hope for Virtuosity at the end, but yeah, you don't want to be hoping to win a round. You want to feel confident winning a round, especially when you have that gun advantage earlier. So they also got pick advantages earlier too, right? Or no, that was a previous round, but they did, you know, get those even picks in, and maybe RyZe is realizing, hey, what's working for us? Just aggressing.
Yeah, it's almost like a double duelist comp will do that to you, right? Just playing aggressive. And you can see that aggression, it comes in perfectly. T-Bite taken out by those clean shots from Zaj, and now over towards this A site. They're like, hey, you know what? We did pretty good over towards B, but that's going to be our opening. So let's just move over to A. Let's try and isolate whoever's sitting here, and that specifically is Santa on this Killjoy. And they're ready to execute on the site. Knights is already here. He took a little bit of chip damage, but it's not going to stop a spike plant from going down.
Yeah, and I saw that Killjoy ultimate there. I saw the positioning from that Killjoy, and I said, well, that's going to be a retake. That's a play for retake if I've ever seen one. So RyZe, they're going to have to find a way to get themselves back on site, but they are in tree, and they are getting pinched from behind, and it's Cooper that falls early, so that's what you need for your opening pick. And World RyZe will get 2, though. Santa getting 1 as well, so... Oh, there's the tether. The tether actually lands, but oh, Santa! That is dirty!
And now it's World RyZe versus Zaj. A 1v1 RyZe versus RyZe, and World RyZe is able to take it! A 3K on the round, and the time is just barely there. A couple seconds to spare for Virtuosity to get their 6th.
Wow. That was an insane shot by Santa. I didn't even see the bullet shoot, I'm gonna be honest.
It's insane how close these two squads are. It really has been back and forth. Sure, the scoreline is 6-4, and you can argue that Virtuosity has just been better so far in these 10 rounds, but every round it feels like there's one player alive, 2 players alive. These rounds are barely getting by.
And, you know, I do want to touch on that. I do feel that Virtuosity is the better team, at least right now. It seems that's how it feels, but you have to question, is their consistency going to be enough? Because right now, they're losing rounds that they shouldn't. They're losing, you know, these thrifty rounds, these aggressive rounds, and Santa's going to put a stop to this one, at least, with getting 2 right off the bat. So that's something that you do love to see, and putting that Killjoy down at 1 HP as well.
And the other thing is, because of that from the shadows, Coopert is already here on that quick rotate. That's a fake spike plant from Pain to bait out that showstopper. World RyZe falls for it, hook, line, and sinker, but Pain gets tucked into a corner right alongside that rocket, and there's a Trailblazer kill in the meantime while World RyZe is popping off, getting a little Twitter clip for himself. Virtuosity on an attacker-sided map of Lotus have guaranteed themselves the lead at the half. On the defense, too.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love Lotus, and I love the fact that they're utilizing this aggression to take so much space, because RyZe, they're just struggling with the map control at the end of the day. They're going to 4-1 setups here, and they're getting that initial pick, but then they're giving up all of that space, and what that does is it doesn't play mind games with that opponent. It's just, they just give it up for free, and just like that, see, A is taken by Team Virtuosity. They're doing a great job getting that, and they get a pick over on C as well.
They do get that pick over by C. Exile's gone and out of this round. That's so tough for RyZe, because that means any sort of flank control that you would have, it's not going to be there any longer. And you can see for RyZe, it's just about re-wrapping into C, try and pull those rotations over to B, use that showstopper, send it out onto the site. Zaj is here. He wants to find T-Bite, but T-Bite's run away just too far. So that rocket finds no one. It's RyZe desperate for a 7-5 at this point, and Zaj is going to be the one to try and take him there with that first frag onto T-Bite to secure the 4v4. As this retake for Virtuosity comes in, it's all this utility that has to be used. World RyZe, Bless, Coopert, all towards Mound. Santa towards Waterfall gets taken down, so it's just the Mound front left for Virtuosity, and Coopert goes huge for 2, but World RyZe, stuck in this 1v1 again, starts to stick. Hendog, you have so much to do here. You swing over the time. World RyZe gets off. RyZe Esports are able to find your 5th, thanks to Hendog's clutch.
Switching sides.
Oh my gosh. He had enough time, but it was only if those body shots connected, and if that's an instant headshot, that's that round over. But it wasn't a headshot; it was body shots. You had enough time to stick it, but how could you know? They just didn't. Wah! That's like a 50-50 moment there. You don't know how to play it, and it just goes the way of RyZe, and they got to be feeling great. They might be feeling a little bit on edge, but they're feeling happy knowing that at least they converted that last round of the half.
This game has been insane so far. 7-5, this feels about as close as it could be other than 6-6. I mean, literally it is. But even just, again, the rounds, it's literally one person alive at the end of everything. It's so scrappy. It's such a frag fest. It's absolutely incredible.
I like it.
And you can see now for this defense for RyZe, they're playing this a lot differently than Virtuosity. They're taking that more passive approach.
That's true, but yeah, I just want to say that Virtuosity, they're also changing it up from RyZe as well. They're changing up how their attack is played.
Bless, taking a couple shots here and there with Knights. Gonna be able to use that dismiss to get out of this fight. World RyZe gonna potentially start to aggress into B, has some satchels ready at a moment's notice, but opts against it for the time being. Instead, they want to try and secure this pick onto B on Pain. They just can't do it. It really does feel like Virtuosity, RyZe playing this super well, playing back super well, have allowed Virtuosity to kind of just fall into their grips here and try and, play off of these crossfires. But here's the late sight C hit. It's coming in.
Oh, but aware of the Reyna in the smoke. They are. They somehow get killed there. And how does World RyZe live there? Oh my gosh. All of those picks. Virtuosity is just coming out on top. It seemed so off for them with that double sight hold, but it works out and they should be able to get this plant down, but not quite. Time's running low. They gotta run out, and Zaj gets 2 for his troubles. It's just down to World RyZe, and now has to plant the spike. Tapping it now, trying to bait the player out, but no more time is left, and now you have to kill them both. Yeah, World RyZe had to stick it there or commit to the kills, and, well, Zaj ends up winning that one for RyZe.
I think the time just betrays Virtuosity a little bit. Unfortunately for them, just kind of some of the mid-rounding that they did, it didn't really get a lot of success. Knights being able to take that initial pick onto Bless, and then the rest of RyZe playing that super, like, disciplined, passive playstyle on the defense, force Virtuosity to push in, make a mistake. And, you know, at the end of the day, they just play the numbers, the trades super well. And for Virtuosity, you know, we're here at an anti-eco, we're here to Crossroads. Not really much to look forward to for TV.
I mean, look at the aggression out from both A and C site. That's just, it's annoying. Imagine getting that much map control off the start of a round, first 3 seconds. I think maybe using one Reyna flash or maybe even nothing, and just using a few pieces of util on A main. You just get all of that space, but some of it's going to disappear here as they will move up to rubble here, and that Viper wall is going to alert them that there might be some sort of alert coming in.
I think there might be. There could be some sort of play. You can already see all of those fights being taken. Zaj falls, so does Pain. You can see Hendog running away in towards that breakable door. That A site, it is going to be the commit. Santa's stuck in towards breakable. He's watching for any sort of push from Exile, and he's able to get the kill. So now, numbers firmly in the hands of VR. RyZe in a 2v4. It's all in the backs of Hendog and Knights, and Santa still able to frag. Is able to find 4 for a thrifty round for VR. That's ridiculous. I can't believe it. They've completely flipped this economy on its head.
Well, I was gonna say Virtuosity seems like they might struggle here on this half, but no, they're good. They're gonna stick with that, you know, thrifty, and they're gonna absolutely start to put the economy in shambles for RyZe. But I mean, we've seen them thrifty back, so it's not unheard of with these sheriffs. They could make something happen, but if it all goes to failure, then you kind of got a weaker buy in the next round too.
We'll have to see what they can do, but Knights, you can't count them out of it. I mean, look at that shot. That's just ridiculous. World RyZe is gone. There's nothing for World RyZe in this round.
Interesting. I was trying to see if they were going to throw back that gun all the way to their spawn, but I don't think they did quite yet. So that gun's still going to be there. See if, you know, RyZe maybe tries to get there, but now making that noise over towards A. There's certainly a possibility they fall here, and with that one way to block them out, it actually is going to cancel their push. So low-key, that might actually be better for Virtuosity.
Yeah, I don't know, because listen, you do have that player in Exile over here for RyZe, kind of getting all this information and is ready to pinch this C-mound play from Virtuosity at a moment's notice. Bless has to go huge here and entering onto the site, or Cooper has to go huge on anchoring for this flank, and he's not able to do either yet. Instead, it's Bless on the site, who just goes huge and gets 3 in the meantime. And now for Zaj, a 1v4 with, you know, nothing but a sheriff.
Planted.
I mean, I've seen it happen, but I don't think it's this round.
Yeah, not that round, but the only reason I just wanted to say that one way was a little bit better for Virtuosity is it forces them to play together. They have better guns, they're going into sheriffs, and you can't exactly spray with the sheriff. It's a tough shot to hit a double satcheling RyZe. So something like that is going to be a little bit better for you on paper. Of course, anything can happen in any circumstance, but it's just the mentality and the confidence that you have hitting with a 4v2 versus maybe getting picked off and over towards A and then struggling to get on C site. But they managed to do so with 4 of those guns still remaining, I believe. So they got to be feeling pretty good here.
I mean, surely, right? You can already see the way that they played this. I think they're going to be able to start to read RyZe here, but I don't know. Knight still finds Cooper, and that's huge because that's, you know, that smokes on the C site taken out. WorldRyze is, you're going to have to rely on him diving in, creating that distraction because for the side of Exile, he's already here. He's deep in towards that trench in water. T-Bite does trade him out, but Santa falling by Zaju in the meantime. It does mean T-Bite is stuck in a 1v3. He's still able to find Ihendog, though. T-Bite might be on for it.
Ooh, this is going to be tough, though, to know that both players are mound and still have to maybe clear Waterfall here, too, and ooh, gets spotted. That's even harder for that chance of the clutch, and Kane will say, there is a 0% chance that you clutch here, because I'm going to shoot you.
I don't know, RyZe could not defuse, but that's not really likely, and for RyZe, it's a team ace to come out. Kill participation, it's on the board for everyone in that round, and it really did feel like a team effort from RyZe. Knights getting that first one early, then Exile being able to sneak in off the timing of the fact that, you know, Cooper was out of the round, couldn't take any smokes in. He's able to come in, find his one. It really did, again, concerted effort by RyZe. They're able to start to claw their way back into this. It's a 2-round lead for Team Virtuosity, but the important thing in this round is the ults. The lockdown is online for Santa, and Bless has those Seekers, so potentially an execute off of both of those ultimates could be big in this round.
Ultimates galore for these teams, but Knight still has a rifle, so it won't exactly matter as 2 picks are found away, taking that ultimate ability completely away from Virtuosity. That's not what you want to see, and it is for RyZe at least, and I think somebody might be a little bit hungry for more.
It's possible. As you can see, as the C site is now the target, the focus in this round. It's a 2v5, not 1v5 actually. I spoke too soon. And Cooper, this is the Twitter clip we've been waiting for. The Twitter clip of the century. No one's been watching, but the shots, they don't land either. Oh, that's tragic for Cooper. It overcooked just a little bit. He made a meal of it.
Well, I mean, there's a world where that happens, and
there's a world where Cooper becomes there's a world where Cooper just gets famous for that and becomes like the best player in the world, but I don't think it's the world we live in. That's like so tragic.
It's the one Marvel movie. How many possibilities do we succeed? 1. And it was
not this one. No, it was not this possibility. But I mean, on the other hand, for RyZe, you know, it has been a really good showing for Knights. Wait, hold on, what's going on here over towards A main? WorldRyze able to find 2 to trade things out into that 3-on-3. It's RyZe and Omen for RyZe and Omen. Bless ready to pop those Seekers as they start to hit into C, but yeah, I think RyZe are aware of this. So you can already see Knights and Exile over here. It's the bulk of these players over towards this site. The alarm bot's out, and so are the shots from Knights. Exile able to find one as well, and it's T-Bite. Another 1v3, and this time found the first, but does he expect the swing from Knights? Yes, he does. He's able to fall off, but on that repeat, yeah, Knights gets it. And something I was going to say in that off round was that Knights has really been like the pillar of consistency for RyZe. It feels like every round that RyZe win, it comes off the back of Knights finding an opening pick or, you know, a huge 3K later in the round.
Ironically, the setup that RyZe was doing on attack is what Virtuosity needs to be doing on attack. That 4-1 setup really will help them out. You can hear if that Reyna will come down on that C, and yeah, if you get those 2 picks on A main like you did, you can hit that site. You'll know because Reyna will be there. You'll already have that information, and you'll know Killjoy is spreading out her util already. So, oh no, that would be a showstopper. Who's gonna get it? Gets Pain.
It does get Pain, and now for Knights, he has to try and run out that breakable door to trade out the frag onto WorldRyze, and he's going huge again. But Bless, what a shot onto Zaju, pops the showstopper. That's ridiculous. And now, again, another 3v3. We've traded out 2 for 2. Hendog going in towards the back of A. He's going to get helped by Knights. So it's not Exile this time. Instead, it's Exile on that flank. There's that Viper's Pit coming out from T-Bite. Knights on the peak. Does get taken out by Bless. And now for Hendog, as he goes into that Viper's Pit, he's gone too. A 1v3 for Exile to try and find double digits. Who will get it? VR or RyZe?
Really? The lockdown invested here?
Like that?
Interesting.
Well, Bless gets a 4K.
Sure. I mean,
to get Virtuosity double digits?
I don't know about that lockdown usage there, but maybe they were thinking, hey, they used an alt weekend too, but it just Virtuosity. They needed that Viper's Pit. It came out really in handy, got them those 2 picks. So that's a round that I would say it's okay to use a few ultimates. So Virtuosity, they still have this lockdown. That's another round that you could assumedly win, but RyZe, if Knights has anything to say about it, anything can happen, really.
We'll have to see. I think RyZe Esports was trying to go ult for ult with Team Virtuosity, and I don't think they could keep up in that round. We'll have to see what they can do here as the Empress does get popped by Knights, and Cooper already teleporting with that Shadow Step deep into the site, going around bend, utility being dodged by all these players, but bullets being hit by Zaj in kind, as well as Bless in the 2v3. Exile, the shots go a little bit wide on T-Bite. So now another 1v3 situation for RyZe, and this time it's Pain at the helm of it. Never mind. No 1v3. Santa's done. He wants to get Team Virtuosity to 11, and he does just that.
Santa's slaying those chances, you could say.
Sleigh, like Santa who drives a sleigh. It's March, and we're still making Christmas jokes.
Hey, well, it's Santa, okay? You can't blame me for that one. It's okay. It's March. But
yeah,
you know, tonight's not the night that he's coming, nor is it the one that RyZe is in the lead currently.
Yeah.
Was that going?
Yeah.
That one?
We'll count it. We'll count it. But the other thing that's important is that for RyZe, you know, they do that aggressive 4-1 split on this eco to try and catch Virtuosity off guard, but Virtuosity kind of read this like a book. They've fully committed over towards this C site, and sure, you do have that from the shadows out from Pain to try and contest with this, but all the utility that's getting used to flush all of these players out from all these different positions, it has to be good shots by Pain, and he's only good for 1. So all those trades at the end of the day, it does mean that Virtuosity have that C site open and ready for any sort of pick, any sort of play. Spike does get planted, and Cooper is ready with that paranoia to try and send Virtuosity home onto match point. See if they can do it. Bless finds the first. The paranoia comes out. Cooper able to swing off as well to find Hendog. It's now Exile and Knights. A 2v3. That's ridiculous, T-Bite. 2v3, now 1v2 as Knights trades out 1 for 1. Bless sitting alone on the site as it's T-Bite to get tested towards Mound by Knights. The shot's just a little bit above his head, but the time ever ticking closer and closer. Knights, there's no way in this round for you, my friend. It's Virtuosity to match point.
Last player standing.
Probably shouldn't have taken that fight there and given up that gun, as, you know, you don't want to necessarily give up the value of that Sheriff round there, but at the end of the day, Virtuosity still on that match point, so they may not be worried too much about their credits. RyZe, though, they got to worry a little bit much, because if they don't win this one, it's over. They got to force up as much as they can, try and convert this round. They do have that Fade ultimate, so there is still some things to be hopeful for, but it's not exactly a free site when you just make them so they can't hear.
That's true. We'll have to see what this round entails, if Virtuosity is going to be able to close things out now, or if RyZe have what it takes to hold on. Overtime still technically on the cards. But as all this information is just getting dodged by Virtuosity, they're just letting RyZe burn through that utility, waiting for any sort of peek towards C. You can see Knights is getting antsy here.
Oh,
Cooper! Oh, he gets caught out. Knights on the overswing. Bless wasn't ready for the trade, and you can see the man advantage firmly in RyZe's hands.
that was comms there, I think.
Maybe comms, maybe awareness from Bless.
I think Bless needs to be the one keeping that first contact there, because the unpredictable. I mean, I guess, you know, you want the high-low setup, but nobody was watching that. Well, World RyZe will at least take that one, pick and even it up at least, and that's the Fade ultimate out right now, so maybe used a little early.
It was used very early, and you can see, look at where T-Bite's positioned on this map.
30 seconds
He's over
left.
by this A site, ready for that rotate to come in. The only one here for now is going to be Zaj over in that breakable door, but the toxic screen has gone up. The site is getting hit, and T-Bite, yeah, sure, you fall, but with that spike being planted by Santa for Tree, they're ready to hold this. They're ready to try and close this out. RyZe, you have that man advantage, but for how long is the question? And with World RyZe falling, Zaj going huge. It's 1v4 for Santa. Yeah, no, he's not getting it. RyZe, I asked if they had what it took to hold on and to get another round, and they do exactly that off the back of Zaj finding a 4K.
Right, and I would assume this is, you know, somewhat of a weaker buy for Virtuosity. They're not looking too hot. Looks
I mean,
like
Bless has 8K in the bank.
yeah, that's fair, actually. They're going to try and still do a crap ton of damage here because anything they do is really, really good, but it's not the end of the world if you lose this round. You want to bait out that RyZe showstopper. That's what the key to this round is. Get your ultimates, save them up for next round, and slam them all just to win it. Play the game of Overwatch if you have to. Just spam everything so you can't see, and chances are you'll win, right? That's how it works, but Virtuosity, they're going to have to take down Knights, who's been kind of this Goliath that we've seen this whole game.
Yeah, Knights, absolute raid boss on the Reyna. And you can see with all the noise that they're making towards C, you'd expect it would draw more rotations, but it really doesn't. It doesn't do that. The rotations have actually stayed pretty stagnant on the side of RyZe. You can see Knights still here over towards C, ready at a single moment to hit this site, to be ready to defend from the shadows, being used by Cooper now in towards the defender spawn. Does get seen, so we'll have to back up. But look at this lurk from T-Bite.
I've got your trail.
Did they see him? Well, we saw the... Oh, yeah, well, both players are now aware, and it looks like a B pinch could be the play, and yeah, it looks like they're gonna get on B site, but they have to be aware that this player could already be up, but T-Bite still gets the jump!
He still gets the jump, and Bless gets the shots onto Zaj. And sure, it's up to Knights to try and hit this retake. He's able to find the one, but Bless shuts him down right after. RyZe, a 2v4 needed, a 2v3 gained now that Payne has taken that kill onto Santa. Oh, and Bless goes down too by Exile. That's huge.
He definitely clears this too. He 100% clears this.
He clears it. I don't know if he's ready for it. Yes, he is. It's now a 1v2. Cooper, you're not able to find it. Exile gets that kill.
Wow.
RyZe, they've taken it all the way to round 24 of regulation. And this is just map 1, Ari.
Some games would be over by now, but nope, not us. We're still here, and this is why this matchup is the upper bracket finals. This is why they are going the distance. These are the strongest teams that so far the standings have told us we're looking at right now, and I certainly believe it based off of the gameplay that we're seeing, but you know, what's the adaptation for this final round? Look, what did I say before? Stack up the ultimates to convert the next round. What do they do instead? They use them that past round because they thought they had a chance, which they did, to be fair, but now you don't have anything to combat this RyZe showstopper or this Reyna ultimate.
You don't have anything for that Empress. This is such a tough spot to be in for Virtuosity. You're gonna have to pull out all the stops here. And look at the defense here from RyZe. They just have a turret over towards the C site. That's the only thing that's keeping that C site protected, is one turret in mound. If T-Bite just walks a little bit forward, it screws up this whole hold from RyZe. And he does exactly that. You can see that rotate coming over now, but there's still 3 players over towards A.
The question is, will that become alert towards B and maybe catch up Knights and make that one a problem? But there's the showstopper. It's good for one. Well, you know, player gets shot earlier, but ooh, Santa gets one. But yeah, still 2v4, 2v3. Bless needs to get some heroics done here, but there is just a lot of bodies on site. There's Spike down, but Bless still in this one, still very much aware, and lands the shot onto Knights, and it shuts down to this Killjoy now. Exile has to clutch this one out. Knights wasn't there for the heroics, but look, the Seekers are up. the Seekers. It's going to give away the positioning. And now you have RyZe on the back foot. T-Bite, ooh, maybe gives out the advantage a little early, but that's gonna do it. Bless with the 4K to bring Virtuosity a 1-0 lead in this series.
Absolutely insane by Virtuosity. They steal it right out from RyZe's nose. They're able to take their own map pick of Lotus, RyZe's map pick of Lotus, that is. It goes the way of Team Virtuosity. And I mean, what a game to start us off with in this winter finals. And we still have, at the very least, one more map.
I'm calling it now. You just have RyZe completely dominate the next map for no reason. There's no thoughts based off of it. Just, that's what I'm feeling right now. And then we get a map 3.
Okay. Interesting thought.
You don't agree?
One counter to that. Knights is a very predictable type of player. And what I mean by that is, yes, he's very good, but we know he loves the Yoru, and we know that Breeze is a traditionally very Yoru map. And so something tells me that in the big brains of the guys over at Virtuosity, they might have accounted for this. Because, I mean, look at these stats. Bless outshining Knights. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. 389 ACS for that guy over on Team Virtuosity. And for RyZe, Knights does so much to try and keep them in this game. 7 first bloods. Over half of the rounds that RyZe won, Knights was getting a first blood.
Do you think they said, hey, Knights, you're off the leash? Or do you think this was Knights being leashed? Do you think there was so many more? Oh, you think this was off the leash?
I think this was off the... I think they were just like, you know what, Knights? You can just go in and frag out of your mind and drop 40, but Bless just showing up saying, no. You're not doing that against my team. You can do that against any other team you want, but not against Team Virtuosity. He does it. He shuts him down perfectly. You saw Bless in that last round with that multi-kill to bring them back into it, to close it out 13-11. It was beautifully played by both teams. I can't say anything else other than the fact that I am so excited for Breeze.
I mean, you have to imagine that regardless of which team is going to fall now, they're going to go to the finals together. I feel like whoever loses this, they're making the run through that lower bracket, and we're seeing a rematch, but maybe that's just what I want in my subconscious. But, we still have to go through Breeze and Sunset, possibly. So we have a long day ahead of us before we can get all the way to the grand finals, but we got to take a break before then. We got to move to break just to get just a little bit of some time for the players, think of their strats, take a bottle of water. So don't go anywhere. We are going to be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to Titans of Tier 3 Winners Bracket Finals. My name is Ancient Angel. Here with me is Ari. And oh my goodness, what a map one we just had. It was Lotus. It was RyZe's map pick, but Virtuosity was able to steal it right from under their nose, 13-11. It took us all 24 rounds, but we got there in the end. It was a standout game by Bless. Knights was also fragging for RyZe, but it's in the past now. It's behind us. Let's move forward. Let's talk about map 2 of Breeze. It's Virtuosity's map pick, and if they're able to take it, they will find themselves in the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, Breeze is just one of these maps where you have no clue how the enemy is going to be playing. There are so many entrances where these lurks are possible, which changes up the playstyle for these games. So Knights, who you saw, was just running it down, holding one side and then just pushing up when that kill was discovered. Guess what? You can't do that now. Yeah, you can get one pick, but after that, you become that lurker. So that scary presence that might be there, not going to be there anymore.
It's not going to be there indeed. And the other thing that we talk about when we talk about Breeze is the kind of difference in the way that the comps are structured. On a map like Breeze, you see a lot, and I mean a lot of, solo controller Viper. Maybe you'll see a little bit of Viper Harbor. You generally see a lot of Cypher. So it's going to be interesting to see these two teams kind of change a lot of their players and characters and their agents in this upcoming agent select between map 1 and map 2. The only things I can think of that are going to be the same is probably the two people who were playing Viper in the last map are going to be playing Viper again.
Viper.
Or actually, no. Only T-Bite was playing Viper. There was no Viper player on the side of RyZe, and this time Pain does opt to go over to that Viper, and wait a minute, T-Bite is on the Cypher. He's not on the Viper. So does that mean Santa is going to be playing the Viper on Breeze?
Looks like it. I mean, maybe Santa's just a killjoy specialist, and compared to that one thing. Maybe someone's a better Cypher on Breeze. It's all just jibber jabber at that point. But something that you did predict, Knights on Yoru. You said it earlier. Predictable player, wants to get those fun little kills in, and I think we're going to be seeing a bunch of those random kills with maybe some heroics as well.
We'll have to see if he can pull it out between the Reyna on map 1 and the Yoru on map 2. Knights never fails to disappoint in terms of some new and interesting agent picks on the map of Breeze. I mean, just going over this, some other key highlights here is Zaj versus WorldRyze now both swapping from that RyZe to the Jet. Bless opting for that KO. The difference between Virtuosity and RyZe's comp is the KO versus the Yoru. So both information kind of gathering agents, but they do it a little bit differently. Yoru gathers information for himself to get a kill, whereas Bless is going to be the one setting up WorldRyze on that Jet.
Right, and I feel like Yoru is kind of a Gecko opposite. Gecko is that initiator, right, that is pseudo-duelist. Yoru is that duelist that's pseudo-initiator. So you kind of get that duality showing up, but the potential to be a little bit more brawl style, and those two flashes, and especially the ultimate, can be used for a lot of early information entry into a round. It's like a Cypher cam that just travels across the map. Like, that's kind of convenient.
Wait, were you saying that KO is like an initiator that's pseudo-duelist, or did you mean to say Gecko? No, initiator pseudo-duelist.
Gecko,
really?
Yeah.
I feel like Gecko is like, I'm most of the Gecko players we've seen have been kind of low fragging because they're meant to be like really, really supportive, and their utility is really slow. I feel like KO generally takes that spot as like the pseudo-duelist.
Well, I mean, hey, maybe they both are, but
I mean,
who's
it
to
makes
say
your
they're both
comparison
initiators?
more accurate.
True, but they're both initiators at the end of the day, and we're just waffling for content, and because we have to.
That's true. It's our jobs. It's what we're here to do. And for Virtuosity, they're here to try and see if RyZe is going to get any extra aggressive on this defensive pistol round. 40 seconds left on the clock. The spike has not moved from defender spawn. Hendog going to get spotted over towards Nest, which means that Pain, alone on the site, gets taken out by Bless. That's the gap in the defense. This A site, it's going to come under pressure. Knights is going to start to rotate in.
30 seconds left.
Question is, will he be able to find anything before the spike gets there? And yes, he does. He finds one, but Bless immediately trades him out. iHendDog there, quick on the response to make sure that the kills don't go too out of hand for RyZe. But look at this. Now the B site completely open. 15 seconds left on the clock. That's the spike being called over towards B. 10 seconds left. You have to run this if you're T-Bite. You have to just keep running. You can't stop. 4 seconds left. You're going to be able to barely get the plant down. And Cooper finds Exile, which does in fact mean that that spike goes down. 0.1 seconds remaining, and iHendDog on a flank and a 1v3 and a pistol round to try and do it all. Gets spotted by Santa. His position's revealed. Ari, be honest, do you think he's got this?
I don't know, but that trip almost won them the round. It was so close. If you weren't expecting that trip, if you didn't shoot it in time, I mean, the stun came there, so it was just barely off. Imagine that knife out running hadn't taken place for maybe 0.2 seconds. We would be in a completely different situation here, but Virtuosity, they get there first on the board on their map pick, which I feel like that's a little close for their map pick and what they were expecting.
Absolutely it is. And the other thing that's equally as important about this, you know, this pistol round that Virtuosity is able to take here is it starts to build them dominance and it starts to build them that ult progress. You can see Bless already almost halfway there to that null command. World Rise, you know, starting to get that Blade Storm online as well. These are super impactful ultimates on a map like RyZe where the distance and the openness of everything is so huge and you need those ultimates to start to make plays and clear out sites. And just like that, that B site, it's been completely cleared out. World Rise and Cooper starting us off strong with those picks.
No, you can't wallbang that. Not with the Spectre, at least.
Nope, but Cooper can just shoot HeadDog in the head instead.
Yeah, that always works usually. Well, maybe not so far as RyZe. They're still striking back. They're still in this one very much so, but oh, this lurk might seal the deal there, and Zaj will fall, leaving it to a 1 HP player. Pain will fall as well. So Virtuosity, they take this one a little bit better than they did the first round.
It's something so crucial that they're able to take that round very cleanly. You know, 3 players alive at the very least, because now it means for the side of Virtuosity, they're able to start building that economic advantage in. You can see Bless, 2,900, Santa, 3,300. They're going to have a really, really competent round 4 buy. And for the side of RyZe, because they invested into a couple Sheriffs over in round 2, they have a bunch of light shields. And for a gun like a Spectre and a Bulldog that don't do that much damage at a distance, on a big map like Breeze, 25 HP is the difference between living and dying.
That's really true. And I was going to say pre-round, whoever keeps A main control the longest is actually going to be the victor here. I feel like that A pinch will come in, but they're utilizing mid, so Virtuosity, you know, still at the gun disadvantage, decides that they're gonna take mid here, and you know, that might be a little bit questionable as you do have, you know, a Stinger not quite great for long distance, but who knows? It's giving them more options, giving them more map control, and they're just trying to isolate these picks. They want to do damage, and Knights will say, yeah, I'm gonna do damage first, and I'm going to shoot you in the head and TP out, so you have absolutely no clue where I'm going.
Cage triggered.
I mean, you don't have any clue where Knights is going. But we know where Virtuosity's headed. They're on that B site. Cooper isolated here. Needs to try and find something, a way in for either of his teammates. Bless has been taken out in mid as well, but Cooper finds Exile on a tag through the wall. And it's a way in for Virtuosity. It's a way in for T-Bite to get that spike down in this 2v4 as Santa gets taken out by HendDog. T-Bite's here with a Marshall. Shot's going good for just a little bit, but now it's all onto T-Bite as Zaj takes out Cooper and he just can't find it. iHendDog cleans it up. It's RyZe Esports. They get their round 3, but it's a really, really heavy investment.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty ideal for Virtuosity. They get on site. They didn't use too much util there, and they got 3 picks on that round. I mean, just completely disgusting shot through the Viper screen, by the way. That's dumb. That's a Valorant moment for you. But RyZe, they got their first on the board. They got to be feeling a little bit better, saying, hey, we're not just going to get completely dominated. We can't get bonused, surely, right? So they pulled that one out, and now they're probably getting a feel for where Virtuosity is trying to pull up in terms of the strat book. They are knowing that they're going to be playing a little bit slower, so maybe some aggression starts to come out in A.
Well, aggression for RyZe coming out on A for sure. As you can see, both duelists are over there. Instead, it's this B hit super fast. Knights uses that gate crash, teleports over towards this B site. Exile and Knights both forced out in towards the back here, and they're both able to find some kills. Bless starts the trades out, but at the end of the day, this B site, there's no spike plant gone yet, and T-Bite on this lurk through mid does get found out by Zajin. Santa never cleared in that corner, finds a Hendog at the same time. So as Bless starts to get this plant down, Knight's trying to re-engage with that dimensional drift. There's potential for him to find something, and you can see he gets out and he finds Santa. But it's still a 2v1 as Bless immediately trades back. Bless and T-Bite, 1v2.
No Molly.
Pain here. There's no mollies, but there's also no smoke for Pain to stick that diffuse in. So you can see that tap is in. A jump peek from Bless, as well as a right-click flash just to try and delay even further. It's Pain continuing to search, but nothing found until he backs up and T-Bite swings in. Shot's a little messy, but hey, they still get the round at the end of the day. Virtuosity up 3-1, and RyZe forced down to an eco of all ecos.
Yeah, and this feels like how Virtuosity want to play it. It seems clear that this is their map pick, and you can really tell just based off of the mind games that they're playing. I mean, the fact that that drone doesn't clear that one corner, that's just, I mean, simple mechanic, really. I guess not even mechanic, just simple game sense. Really clear your corners. It comes down to it, and sometimes you forget there's a lot of corners at the end of the day, but Virtuosity, they're still happy with their 3 rounds and looking to make it 4 without being too costly here.
Have to see what they can find. And Knights, actually, the answer is Bless. He just finds 2. I think this round is going to be super important for whoever on the side of Team Virtuosity just wants to build up their ults. You can see Cooper ready to plant that spike, try and bring that Hunter's Fury online. And now for RyZe, damage is the name of the game, right?
Ooh. There's one spotted, and Hendog will fall early. Bless and Santa getting in on that action. So it's just flawless rounds from Virtuosity, and look at the ult points. The ultimates are stacked for Virtuosity, and RyZe, they have that Cypher, they have that Sova, but the Sova ultimate can always be canceled by a KO knife, so it's not quite ideal. It's something that is not going to win you a round guaranteed.
And the other thing is look at Bless. Bless has that null command online. He's ready to use it. You can see, I guarantee you, they're running over to B, they're popping that ult immediately, and they're running down the site.
Let's see if you're right. Ooh, maybe not.
I love
maybe not
you.
quite yet. Okay, there it is.
Okay, there it is, and look at that. That Cypher utility gets taken offline. Hunter's Fury does come out from the side of Hendog, trying to delay, to find anything, to separate World RyZe from the rest of the pack, but no kills are going to be given over. Cooper is going to get that plant down. It's actually T-Bite who's going to be found over towards Elbow in mid. It's taken down by a Hendog, so it's a 5v4 on this retake for RyZe. A Neural Theft available if Exile can get there, but World RyZe stuck in this corner, not able to find 2 as he gets spammed out, and Bless gets found in the meantime as well. There's that Neural Theft finally being committed. Pain and Knights all swinging in. It's Cooper, a 1v3 he just can't do. RyZe Esports, despite all of the chaos in the round, are able to find it with 2 players alive.
And it seemed like Virtuosity had the upper hand there. I don't know what quite went wrong for them. I mean, I guess it's just a read from RyZe. They said, hey, they have null command. If you were able to predict it, they were probably able to read it. So they were playing retake there. They get that job done. They have that full retake 5v5. And I think it's also big to notice that that lurk from T-Bite goes down right away. You don't have to worry about a lurker anymore. All you have to do is wait for a re-wrap eventually. But its ultimate's used, yes, but Virtuosity is still very much in control of what their fate will be.
My eyes are down. We'll have to see what Virtuosity is able to do in this round. Knights does find that opening kill, and this time it's on to Santa over by Halls, and that is scary for Virtuosity. Their smokes are gone in this round.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of not ideal. You typically want some sort of cover when you're peeking angles, but now this means they're going to work mid. They do have these Cypher cages if they do wish to use them, but there they are. They're used. That's it. Said and done. No more cover for this round, and now they just have to isolate their picks. Ooh, They shoot that can.
Oh,
Knights
nice.
gets a bless.
Yeah, Knights finding that huge impact player of Bless, World RyZe. Gonna have to try and trade things back out. Zaj on this backstab from Doors. Oh, that was scary. Just a couple knives missed every which way. He has to dash away from it. Virtuosity now gonna start their recommit towards A. And look at that. Pain gets caught off by that tripwire and shot. 2 players for RyZe. They know where Pain is. They're able to find them as Pain tucks into this corner.
Left.
Are you aware of this wrap from T-Bite? You can hear him stomping every which way. Pain, you're not going to be able to get caught out. The timing just betrays you. The second you look away, that's when World RyZe starts the swing. Zaj is here, but a dimensional drift is back out for Knights. It's the second time in this half that we've seen it. And sure, T-Bite's able to get the plant, but Zaj on that swing with the classic does so much damage. Oh my goodness, there's so much being done, and sure, T-Bites is able to find Ihendog, but Knights in Exile are able to bring it back down into a 1v3. Zaj, 34 HP. Cooper with those shots on the Vandal, able to take out Exile, and now it's Zaj versus Cooper. Drone pings out the Jet. The pings are good, and Cooper on the swing is even better. A clutch, a 1v3 clutch for Cooper to bring Virtuosity their 5th.
I figured the ult would come out after that second pick. I figured why risk the peak, but I guess just going for it. That's the name of the game. Just going for it, having confidence, and maybe that's what Zaj was expecting too, that ultimate. So at the end of the day, Zaj falls, Virtuosity, they get another on the board. They keep that Sova ultimate going, and that Sova ultimate might just be the gift that keeps on giving. Is it's just a threat that's been there round after round.
It's such a huge threat. And it's such a well-played round by Cooper. You can see now, this is the first time this A site is really gonna get tested by Virtuosity in a big round, in a round like this. Ihendog does get taken down by T-Bite though, so that's a little bit of danger for the side of Virtuosity. And oh my goodness, World RyZe, what a shot! I mean, you get traded out, but that's still ridiculous.
Is that a hero Vandal for Knights?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So yeah, definitely something that they want to see and that value they want to get out, but well, that's gonna fall as Bless has the timing and has the map control, and that's what's gonna happen off of that. But this flank coming in still could be dirty, even if just that timing is aware.
Oh, Ihendog. So many shots being taken every which way, and Zaj gonna be able to steer clear of that recon bolt. This flank not getting detected yet. If Cooper peeks at just the right time, he's able to get the kill, and Santa finds the kill onto Ihendog. It leaves Exile alone, 1v3. Santa just completely shuts him down. Virtuosity, they had a little bit of trouble dealing with RyZe for a second, but now they've completely cleared that gap.
And yeah, is that the first timeout we're seeing?
I think there was a
All
timeout
series?
taken by one team on Lotus.
Okay.
I think there was one timeout on Lotus. No?
Nope.
No timeouts on Lotus.
No timeouts.
I'm having producers yelling me in my ears, telling me that I'm wrong and that I'll never be right.
Well, that's Nick for you. Nick,
Yeah.
Nick, he's such a silly little guy, honestly.
Such a silly little guy, yelling at his casters always.
I also got yelled at him I got yelled.
You yelled. You sure
I
did.
yelled.
And I think Sambe, the coach of RyZe, is probably yelling at his players right now. He's like, guys, what are we doing? How are we losing 6-2? It's supposed to be our map. Knights is on Yoru. It's his best character. He's fragging out of his mind right now. He's doubling the kills of everyone else on the team. And to that extent, I think that RyZe, they really need to be playing a more kind of traded aggressive style, right? You're running that double duelist. Let's say you actually take that space, even if it's just towards mid to hold and buy times for those rotations. Because what Virtuosity have been really good at doing is running these defaults where they're able to rotate across the map and draw rotations from RyZe and kind of play the weak site, strong site game excellently. And because of that, they're kind of winning now, up 6-2. It's another eco being taken by RyZe. I mean, look at it. They're broke. They have sheriffs across the board. And look at the ult economy, too. Virtuosity has 4 ults here. Oh, my goodness.
It looks like a stack over towards A site, which could be very dangerous. But we saw this the last time they were on eco. Granted, it worked out well for them, I think. But, ooh, no one getting picked just yet. So that A control is still maintained, but it looks like they're just going to force this one, and this spam could very much be deadly. Oh boy, pop flash through it, and no kills found just yet. Deciding to back off, realizing that the stack is here and the rotates are out. But now you got to deal with the Cypher. That's an annoying piece of util, but No trap wires available, and
Oh, T-Bite. That's just rude. A shot into the side of the edge for Zaj, and you mentioned it. That Cypher has no tripwires up. It's just a camera and potentially some well-placed shots, so you can see that pathing by WorldRyze. He's ready. He's itching to go out onto that site, but again, look at Virtuosity. Look at this pivot.
well, I think it's because of the lurk. Look at the lurk of Paul's. Uh-oh. This could be
Ruh-roh.
dangerous. That could be donating a gun. If the timing's not there! Oh! The shots are missed, but there's at least a trade, so... Ooh, that's could have been very, very bad for
30
Virtuosity, but
seconds
they at least salvage a little bit of it. Oh, Pain getting one, but Cypher Ult should give up positionings and should at least help them seal the deal, but if Knights is still alive, they can't throw them out of this one.
E-Bite just taking a swing in towards the back of the site there in the 2v3.
One
Wants to
enemy
shut this
remaining.
down, buying time for that flank by WorldRyze. Does so well on it, and you can see that double peek between T-Bite and WorldRyze, and even Cooper. There's a triple swing, actually, for Team Virtuosity. They get that 7-2 lead, and that's a tech pause being called now. So
Yeah.
you know, for RyZe Esports, I think they're the ones that called that tech. They're probably trying to sort out whatever's going on. There's probably some tech going on. I don't know. Maybe someone's mouse is sticking to their mouse pad a little bit, and that's why they're not fragging. Who knows?
You know, just flick the wrist too hard, dislocated it, or you know, maybe the cat was on the keyboard, right? That's what it was. The cat was on the keyboard. You know, make up whatever excuse you gotta. But hey, come back into this game looking strong, right? It's towards the end of this half. They have to kind of get this strong start if they want to. You don't want to let this slip in 2-0. Yeah, you lost your map pick, but it was still close. Don't let that hope leave you.
You don't want to let that hope leave you. You've done such a good job up until this point of keeping things close with Team Virtuosity, right? Your Lotus 13-11. It was so close, but it feels like your defensive side on Breeze, Virtuosity just have the answer for it every single time. They're either making the good reads, they're playing this rotation game super well. Maybe it's because you don't have a lot of mid control, right? I'm trying to figure out for RyZe what the solution is to this really beautiful game plan of an attacking side that Team Virtuosity have put up to the plate here.
I think for RyZe, it just comes down to taking a little bit more space. It's a simple concept of map control, but it's very, very hard to execute. They fought for A main. Yes. Okay, great. They didn't die. Great. But they didn't take A main. They didn't clear off that angle, and they didn't check a pulse to make sure that lurk wasn't there. And that's why this map, I consider it at least to be attacker sided. There's so many places you can just lurk through. And if you don't have that aggro map control, you're not going to catch those lurks. So I think it's going to be off the back of somebody getting those plays and moving up in the circumstances. And the unfortunate thing is, you know, it can't be B because Cypher's there.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, because do you think that because Exile is constantly just playing for this kill trip setup over towards B, that he's not able to accurately help the rest of the map, and that maybe there's just a couple extra gaps, so maybe he needs to, you know, use a couple bits of his utility to set up towards halls or maybe towards A or something? Is that like advancing your ideas a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely adjusting the Cypher utility is going to be your best bet. Even, let's say you can throw a cam on B site. It watches both main and mid, even really the mid push up towards nest. That allows you to throw a trip towards halls. You can still decently swing off of, you know, your cam if you want as well. It's going to provide you a lot more map control, keep you at least not super worried about lurks, and it will allow you to play your game a little bit more freely. But of course, that means you have to sacrifice something else, and it could be readable. So it's just in the mind games at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's super, super tough, you know, from these teams, which is that the thing with Breeze, right? You talked about taking space. And I think the one problem that maybe you're going to run into for RyZe is the fact that because it's a map like Breeze, there's just so much space to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to invest so many resources into effectively clearing out all of that space. And for a team like RyZe, which we know to be generally pretty frag-centric, pretty, you know, let's just run in and just trade everyone out, that can be a pretty heavy investment from time to time.
Or I mean, here's the opposite of that, right?
Okay.
Let's say they are the run it down kind of team. Well, what better than to know where all of the players are, aka play retake. Just let them get on site, keep your flank covered with some tripwires, just wait, put them down towards mid, solve that problem, because chances are they're not rotating opposite side and going all the way through your spawn. Should be okay there. So play retake. Then you're free to run it down, do what you need to do, but that's when the ults come in. That's when you will have that brawl style that they want to have. That's their favorable thing. So if that's their style, play for it.
I would agree. And I think to balance out that point that you're making, the 2 rounds that RyZe have won on this defensive side have been retakes. It's been diffuses from the spike. So you know what? If that doesn't prove your point, I don't know what will. RyZe, I think maybe exactly what you're saying. They're just investing too much into defending the site instead of just playing retakes or playing aggressively towards an extremity or towards mid to just fill in that empty space that for right now Virtuosity is just taking for free.
Can chat tell that we watch a little bit too much Valorant? Because
I don't know what you mean. I haven't seen anything. I've only watched all of Kickoff and also the tier 3 stuff that I cast and also Challengers open quals. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So how do you think we do if we I feel like if my aim was good, I feel like we could make it a solid way in maybe the tier 3 league or challengers or who knows.
I don't know. Maybe it's possible.
My
It's
aim
possible.
sucks.
Me too. My aim sucks.
Gotta
My in-game game sense sucks. Out of game, I can be the best analyst ever. But the second I'm in game, I'm just me go Reyna, me swing. You know what I mean? Like it's just. I don't even play Reyna too. It's the funniest thing. I just think that I'm Reyna. I'm playing Omen, and I'm like, they both have blinds, right? So I can just like do the same thing. I can't do the same thing actually. Fun fact. But I do have some exciting news. We should be getting back into this game any second now. Just over the next couple seconds, we should be hopping right back into the game, which is going to be great.
Celebration.
I know. It's the New Year celebration. It's the new game celebration. Round number 10 is the round that we're coming up on in case you happen to join us while the action wasn't happening, and we are in this tech pause. It's round number 10. Team Virtuosity able to take map 1 13-11. And now it's their pick of BRyZe, and they're winning so far. They're in the lead 5 rounds, 7-2. Are we set? Are we good?
I guess that's not really for us to decide.
I'm seeing R's on both sides, so I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for that timer, the on-screen timer in Valorant to start ticking down, and then I can tell you for sure what's happening.
Well, what we know is happening is the game is there. I mean, that's
Sure
a start.
is.
The game's there. And we're just waiting for Nick, our silly little guy, to
there we go.
press some
We're in.
Look at that.
We're in.
Heck yeah.
I was so desperate. I went through withdrawal. I went through Valorant withdrawal and like that 5-minute tech pause. I was like, I'm itching. I need Valorant. We're back. And RyZe is back on the defense. They're back on the defense. They're here. They've got those rifles in their hands. They're looking for a third round. They're hungry for it. Knights slowly creeping down mid. But after a little bit of utility being used, does end up using that gate crash to get right back out of there over towards that B site.
And let's see if they kind of use any of those adaptations that we mentioned towards that tech pause. Let's see if they go for the retakes or if they, maybe just they continue to struggle. They have these ultimates, so they could very much just use a Viper ult to lock down one site, play retake on the other, or something like that.
Let's see if they listen to us. We'll have to find out as Exile just immediately gets taken down by Bless. The kind of important thing is, the spike is in spawn. And so Cooper is just fragging out on the Hen Dog, and Knights responds, but there is no spike anywhere. So I think maybe for T-Bite, he's got that communication from Santa that, oh, wait a minute, this A site is completely free. So you're able to get that plant down, you're able to have that Viper's Pit stuck into the site. Yeah, you can see T-Bite ready to plant right in the
30
open.
seconds left.
Viper's Pit too.
Potentially. We'll have to see if it does get used. Yeah, there it is. Santa sending it in.
You think we're going to see the Venn diagram?
the Venn diagram. Oh, the
Oh,
Viper
yeah.
ult on Viper ult.
Oh yeah.
Here.
I'm not against it.
I think it's certainly a play here that they could go for with all of these kind of players still available.
One
And
enemy
especially with one
remaining.
on low HP, but T-Bite going down. It's now just up to this Viper.
Ooh, Santa finds one, but Knights immediately on that trade out. There it is. No Venn diagram needed. RyZe, after a long time taken, it was just those trades over towards B. It kind of makes you wonder if Virtuosity had the spike to begin with and they just committed to B. What does that round look like? I guess we'll never know. It's RyZe Esports up to 3. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was an accidental fake. I don't think that was
On
planned.
purpose?
Yeah, I do think they meant to have that spike to go over onto B. I don't think that was their intention to use the Viper ult, but that's what the cards fall, and maybe somebody just forgot to pick it up. But, you know, RyZe, ironically, they got forced to play retake on this A site, and it worked for them. So it might just be a stroke of good luck, or maybe they actually realized what the plan is.
We'll have to see, as it's an immediate run it back with that null command over towards B, but Knights fragging out hard for 2. Bless is going to respond, though. Take out Knights. And at the very least, it's going to buy T-Bite some time over here in mid, and he clears out Pain easily. Now a 3-on-3. Bless does get pinged out by that Cypher Cam. Gonna have to use a bit of utility here to delay. Sends out a flash as well to take out that Cypher Cam, while Zaj just aggresses ever forward. Creeps ever forward. A neural theft now committed, and it's T-Bite in a 1v3 with his location known. He gets pinged out again, but he's still getting walked towards, and Zaj sticking in towards that diffuse. Exile holds. RyZe now back-to-back retakes being done here. Now
Last
4 to
round
7.
before the switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's been working, and now they have these ultimates, but was that Sova ult? Has that Sova ult ever been used this entire half?
By Cooper?
Yeah, by Cooper.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So maybe that's something they want to actually play for. You know, use that drone, use that dart, get on site, and then just play that retake on the retake, I guess. You know, play that stall, play whatever you got to do. They haven't done it yet, so this last round would certainly be a change up on the pace.
Ooh, speaking of a change up on the pace, WorldRyZe getting spammed out by Zaj here in that Viper's Pit. Bless gonna try and do a little bit of the same. Won't be able to find it though. Instead, it's Cooper on that backstab. Takes out Pain. Zaj sends out that Blade Storm and is able to take care of Cooper. So no Hunter's Fury in this round, and now no Santa either. Bless gonna be able to frag back out, make things a 2-on-2, waiting for his teammate of T-Bite to grab that spike and head on over. Exile going pretty heavy outside B, so I think that's gonna be the call for RyZe that, hey, they did actually commit over to this A site. Who would have guessed?
The accidental fake actually working mind games. Even rounds
Spike
later.
planted.
And I wish that Virtuosity would take a little bit more space here, but I understand why they don't. It makes sense, and you have that Cypher ultimate to get out the pings, so you're going to be aware both players are main. Cages, I believe, still available, if I'm not mistaken, so things could get a little messy here.
They could. Bless making a whole bunch of noise over
no
towards that
cages.
shop area. There's no cages. There's no utility other than that knife, and that spots out all these players. It's Bless on this jump peak, just, again, trying to buy some time, trying to buy some info. It's a tap from iHendDog, and it's a continued jump
remaining.
from Bless. And iHendDog, you just can't find the shots. You get the kills, but there's just no time. Virtuosity guaranteeing an 8th round, an 8-4 lead to close out their attacking half on
Switching
Breeze.
sides.
What a masterfully played 2v2 by Bless and T-Bite.
I love that. I'm stealing that. I'm doing that in ranked with my duo all the time. Honestly, whenever I'm in a post plan, it doesn't even need to be on Breeze. Let's just do that. That jump spot one, make sure they're off the spike, and the other one can just hold it.
We'll have to see. Well, I mean, the only scare about that is if T-Bite doesn't hit the shot onto Exile as he's peeking out towards A, they might both be dead, and then iHendDog has enough time to defuse. But because T-Bite hits that shot, very well played. I don't know. You and I are gonna have to try it out after this when we go into our ranked games. Yeah.
In our bozo ranked games where nobody is actually good and smart.
Yep. Such as plat lobbies.
Ah, yippee. Valorant. We'll make it someday.
Yep. We'll see. But for now, it's another pistol round as RyZe is on the attack. We're going to have to see if this triple stack towards B can be any success. Santa's able to find the first onto Knights, and that's huge. That's that power player of the Yoru gone and out of this round. An 18 and 12 Knights. There's nothing to talk about here.
Ooh, I've seen this well before, and it doubles as that lurk. It could lurk you up all the way to Nest, or it could help you go all the way on a B site and into spawn. So that's something you do have to be aware of, but it is a gamble if you try and utilize it. And it looks like the move is just to swoop on over to A, but that knife will suppress one, not depress one. At least I hope not. And that suppression will give the information that chances are they're probably there.
Oh, come on, Bless. That's just a ridiculous shot. Hendog, the depressed one, will be able to frag back out onto Bless. And now for T-Bite, it's any sort of kill, any sort of chance in this round. Instead, it's World RyZe to pick it right back up, find those two. Pain now 1v3, gets that first shot, but the double hold is good on the swing. So Santa gets that kill. And RyZe, I mean, you've got to feel a little dejected at this point. Down 4-9 and forced to eco.
You think that knife also suppressed their hopes and dreams in winning this game?
I think it was a depression knife. I don't think it was a suppression knife. I think it was a depression knife by Bless, because think about it. You have like this perfect fake setup towards A. They don't expect it. You've made like no noise, and then all of a sudden, of course, Bless uses that knife, and it's not like he suppresses like your Cypher or like, you know, Knights. It's Hendog. It's the guy who's like running with the core of the team. Oh. Okay, a little missed lineup for Pain, but it's okay. He gets it down.
Gotta get the basketball going in the free time.
It's a nice little shot, and it's a really interesting hold here by Virtuosity. This is not a Viper Wall I've seen all too often, but I'm kind of liking it. I'm a fan.
It's a retake setup, is what it really is, right?
Like a mid retake mid setup. It's like it's a retake setup for mid. It's not like they want to retake B. Like, they don't have utility to help them retake B. Instead, they just have some guns helping them hold down this A site. Yeah, that site is basically taken, except for T-Bite just fragging out. Zaj is going to eventually trade, and now it puts Bless on a little bit of an island here. Going every which way. Will eventually get taken out by the shots of Zaj. And now a 3v4. Make it a 2v3 as Pain and World RyZe are trading out every which way. An Outlaw in the hands of the Jet for Virtuosity, trying to do everything for this squad. It's Zaj up close. He's going to be able to find World RyZe, and Hendog will get the Thrifty secured. We talk about Thrifties on Thrifties. Team Virtuosity did it in that first map, but RyZe gets to do it in the second. I mean, what a good shot. Look at this. Zaj just swings out orange. In 3 seconds, he's going to swing out orange, and he's just going to get an absolute domer onto World RyZe. Look at this. Just sees the Bulldog get picked up. Just, oh, okay. Let me just hit the shot anyways.
Bonk.
Bonk. Thrifty. It's just, I don't know. Virtuosity just, maybe the rotates were a little slow. Pain, really good lurk and hauls to distract them, and yeah, no, never mind. Zaj just doesn't want me to talk about last round. He says, I hit my shots. That's what you talked about. Now, we talk about this round, where I hit my shots again. T-Bite running every which way. Can't escape that Guardian of Zaj. And now Hendog just completely taken down Bless. What else is there to say?
RyZe go pew pew. Virtuosity go honk me 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 me.
I like it.
Or are you more of a honk shooer?
I'm honk me 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 me. But that's just me.
That's fair enough. Well, Team Virtuosity, they kind of they want to get kills here, and it looks like they're just intending to hold exits and then play to die to bomb. And yep, that's that.
The dramatic irony to this is there are no exits to find, because for RyZe they went every other way besides A main.
Holding it to the last second.
Last player standing.
Okay.
And they both fall. So
they do.
Not great, really.
If any of you die, I lose a bet.
No, probably not. And I mean, the important thing now is for Virtuosity, now that you have these guns in your hand, show us what your setups are going to look like now. Show us if it's gonna be T-Bite on that Cypher going over towards the B site, setting up those kill trip setups, and then just having that delay over by A from Santa. Because, you know, I think with Bless and Santa, if you only want to keep 2 over towards the A site, let it be those 2 top fraggers, right? Let it be those 2 guys that are just completely holding down the site over and over and over again, just getting kills out of their mind.
And this A wall, you know, the duality of it is you block off A main, but you do kind of say, hey, we're giving up some of this mid space. Not all of it, but some of it. And it's going to be a little bit annoying for you to have to try and re-clear if you want to go for a lurk or something like that. But you have this Slifer still left on. T-Bite needs something here, but we could see a flash TP play, quite maybe, or maybe it's just a gamble TP in a spawn. We'll see. I think he's going for it.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Zaj gets spammed out by getting caught on that tripwire from T-Bite. So, unfortunately, he's done and out of this round. RyZe now with a man's advantage. T-Bite in the back of the site. World RyZe does get caught off on that swing through that Viper's toxic screen. So at the end of the day, it's a 3v3. That's where the trades have left us. And Elbow is going to be a fight. Cooper taking out Exile is the result of it. And with Cooper continuing to frag, it leaves iHendog in a 1v3. Bless. Oh my goodness, iHendog. What are those shots? I thought Bless would have been able to get that trade, but no. I'm wrong. I was never right. I doubted iHendog, and now here we are in a 1v1. Left. Santa, if you don't check for this, which you do, it could have gotten scary.
That timing was off.
Round 7 is denied. Double digits guaranteed for Virtuosity. I mean, what a couple frags for iHendog here.
I mean, if he changes that one, if he clutches that one out, I think he has to change his name to I'm the goat dog.
I am that dog.
I am that dog. He's got that dog in him, and he's the goat. That's all you got to say, but just barely missing that timing, and Santa will, luckily for Virtuosity's sake, keep them in this lead that they have of 4 rounds.
Well, 4-round lead. You talked about it. That tripwire, that's gonna get called out by that Yoru clone. Over towards this B site is going to be all of RyZe as they're flooding in, and unfortunately for T-Bite, he can't find a thing. So now for Cooper and Co, it's all about grabbing the rest of this site, trying to see what you can find. World RyZe gonna be the first to try and come into this round. There's that dash in. Knights blind here, has to teleport back, but you know, okay, Knights, what is that? What a shot there, and now Zaj 1v2. Yeah, you find that for free because Santa's not looking at you at all. So the 7th eluded them for a second, but they got it in the end.
That's just a stupid pick. That is, I mean, you know that the player is swinging you, but holy cow, you don't even see him. You just pre-fire the angle and you get that kill. Whew. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Props to you, I guess.
He's different. He's different indeed. And for Virtuosity, you know, the question has to come in now. We're past the 4th round of the defense. You haven't really been showing too much of, like, insaneness, right? Some of it's been pretty good, but I just want to see a little bit more to make me really comfortable. Because RyZe, with 4 ultimates on the board in this round, you have a lot to come back with. You know, the question is how much you can find, and if the answer is just a 1-for-1 trade onto Payne, sacrificing Cooper, I don't know if that fills me with much joy.
Yeah, the trades are going to favor these defenders because of the gun disadvantage for the moment. And
Spike planted.
World RyZe trying to get lucky with these knives, not for right now at least. And 4v4 is the case, so very much doable as, you know, positioning is pretty much noted, and here comes the dirt out, and ooh, Exile will get to the push a little bit early, but World RyZe keeps them on this one. But Exile is a demon. Exile looking for 4. He wants it. Is he gonna get it? Yes, he is.
What a round from Exile to just pop off. And now, look at the ults for RyZe. Honestly, if I don't see a single ult being used by RyZe in this round, shame on them. And as soon as I say that, Knights buys a judge, and I feel like we all know what's gonna happen.
Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna be the poor soul?
You want me to just tell you outright who it's gonna be?
Careful
it's gonna be Santa.
Careful here.
Santa's not making it.
Time to jump.
Santa's dead off the back of this. I mean, maybe there's gonna be a trade there for the side of for the side of Bless. We'll have to see what happens. You can see Zaj already out onto the site alongside the Dimensional Drift. 3 players here to try and combat this. You can see that Dimensional Drift. I don't think so. No, he's still going. He's able to now just completely dive into the back line, teleports away, not finding anything. It was all just to pull rotations, but T-Bite and WorldRyze are both still here.
Surely they can get an opening pick here, right? Virtuosity, they're aware. They're aware of this hit coming in, but the util is on point. And Op isn't going to be super great for that 180 flick, and T-Bite just can't do enough. It's only left up to this KO. Bless has done it before, but it might be a call to save here. We'll see what happens. Knife gets invested, and ooh, the shot's not quite on. Knights will convert that one, and RyZe, whatever's happening, it's now working. I feel like Virtuosity's calling a timeout here. Yeah.
Wow. That is impressive from you. I've never heard such a good timeout read, but here we are. Virtuosity, I think the call needs to be made here just to see what they can do to switch up this defense. Obviously, they're going to be forced down to an eco, and if that's the case, and you do just try and eco this round, no funny business, you're going to be stuck at a tie game, 10-10. And when that happens, you have to be prepared to invest anything into these upcoming rounds. 4 ults are going to be online for them. And something that I found interesting was how passive WorldRyze was playing with that op. If that's the case where WorldRyze with that operator is you know, kind of going to get found out, you know, he can't re-aggress into an angle or like deep into a site as the execute's coming in. You either need to commit to being passive or commit to being aggressive. And WorldRyze in that last round couldn't really get the opportunity to do either. And it was a great way of shutting down and nullifying that op presence. Now coming into this round, once you get the Sheriffs off the board for Virtuosity and you're able to buy up again, you have a null command at your expenditure. You have a Viper's Pit. You have a Hunter's Fury to delay, and you have a Neural Theft to get yourself some mid-round information. All of those pieces of utility, some of them are available for RyZe, but the one thing you don't have that RyZe doesn't is that null command. So, you know, we talked about retakes for RyZe. Virtuosity might be able to one-up them here too.
I mean, the KO flash used to aggress up mid, which I do like this play, but it is going to prompt out some aggression, maybe an A hit here. So, ooh, this flood over towards mid could actually be really, really valuable if they decide to hit this A site, which it looks like they will. Everyone's already here, but no, they tap it. It's a bait. They're saying, nah, we know you're playing aggressive. Let's just get the heck out of here. And that one, a quick dodge as well, but at least, like, it seems they're ready for it. And the Cypher ult, it gives up the lurks. It gives up the positioning. Now they know what's happening, and it's a B hit.
They know that this B hit is coming in, but the players just aren't here to stop it. Cooper instead is going to be here, and he's not going to be able to find Exile. And now that Viper's Pit is out on the B site, sure, there's a rifle recovered somewhere by Elbow in the hands of Bless. But for Santa and Co., it's just about the consolations. What can you find? The answer is only Hen-Dog. And now for Santa in a 1v3 with nothing but a Sheriff and a Dream. If you can find Exile, I think that's a win, but yeah, it's just not going to be there. Double digits for all, and you know what? For Team Virtuosity, sure, you burned 2 ults, but RyZe burned 2 ults as well, and that was on an eco round.
Yeah, I mean, I guess their game plan was to burn out those ultimates, so well played. But you have this operator now. I want to see them maybe just throw a little bit of a flash for A or get them some sort of info that lets this op hold A main. You've been faked out for the past 2 rounds. So, what does it mean? You need more map control. I know, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm a broken record. I'm sorry, but it's important. It's what gets you these rounds, and look at that. The Viper ultimate to contain all of B main will do some good job at holding that, but now you got to have a KO look somewhere else.
Well, look at that. Knight's going to get caught out by that drone by Cooper, and that's a Hunter's Fury used, and Cooper gets taken out by that Hunter's Fury from Hen-Dog. That's crazy. That's a huge first pick into this round, and now you can see they're headed straight over to this A site. They're ready for it. Zaj going to be the first out on the site. WorldRyze here, holding, waiting, teleport, faked by Knights and Pain gets spammed out by T-Bite, but Hendog is there to respond. This op still in the hands of RyZe. The shot's just not gonna land, and Knights gets that kill. It's a 2v4, and oh my goodness, Exile, you still haven't been found out. Santa is gonna have an unfortunate run-in with you, and it's Bless 1v4. It's not gonna happen. RyZe Esports up to 11, looking for 12.
Virtuosity, they're struggling with this op. I don't know what's going on there. It's just not working out for them. The op, it's stuck in that corner 2 rounds, 3 rounds maybe, and that's not what you want for an operator. Hello, you want your op to take first contact, dash off, maybe decide to re-peek or not. But the threat of this Yoru is just too much. You risk shooting that clone, you risk him TPing behind you, you risk being scoped in and not seeing anything else. So it looks like they're just going to change it up into some Halls aggression, and this A space could be taken for free if Hendog realizes it.
Well, let's see what they're able to do is all that A information. Yeah, A's been fully cleared out, but are they aware of this Halls push? I don't know. That could be disastrous for Hendog as he falls to the Guardian of Bless. So sure, that B site is completely open, but if Knights isn't careful and gets caught out by Santa, and then Cooper can trade out Exile, oh, he can't. That's drastic. And now a 2v3 for Virtuosity to deny map point here on map 2 of Breeze.
Spike planted.
As this plant goes down, World RyZe and Bless, they have a mountain to move. As Exile starts to peek, will get taken out by Bless. And a 2v2 commences.
And I don't know quite how much time is left here on this knife, but you have to assume that it's going to be used to get that info that's very, very valuable. And Molly, I think, did get maybe 1 tag, but that's not quite great. And with it being planted for CT, there's only so much you can do. Both players spotted now, but a wall bang or something lucky needs to be found. And yeah, it's just not going to go their way. The shorty! Maybe there's a chance.
No time. No time. Good try for World RyZe. He's able to get that first kill, and I mean, what a flick it was. But for RyZe Esports, it's 12 to 10. They've got that match point. Team Virtuosity, they need to look to take it to OT. And for World RyZe, the Jet at the bottom of the leaderboard for the side of Team Virtuosity, this op has to find value in this round.
Yeah, and I think it should be used somewhere aggressive. If you're going to post up Halls, move that trip. Otherwise, you want to be peeking A or mid. And right now, they seem kind of indecisive. What's the play? You know that they're going to be peeking you and smoking you off, and looks like now they're finally engaging with that A space with the operator. So that is big, but looks like there's a lot of space over on B. But who knows? Maybe it's a fake again, and that's what they're gambling on.
Knights sending out that dimensional drift, ready at any moment to just completely clear out Santa. You see him with that Vandal. He's ready. Santa is gone. And now, here's that, finally, the null command coming in from Bless. Will he be able to find anything just yet? No, it's Cooper instead to find Exile, turn things into that 4v4. T-Bite starting to rotate in through the flank. It's going to get held by Pain, but with the time ever ticking, T-Bite might be aware of this, and he is. He's going to be able to take out Pain. It's Hendog in this corner to get traded out by T-Bite still. Knights on this flank. Bless goes down, and that's the round as Zaj finds T-Bite at the exact same moment. RyZe, it took them 13 to 10. 23 rounds on Breeze after a 24 map Lotus. It doesn't matter, because Ari, we're going to Sunset.
Yeah, I thought Virtuosity had it over towards that first half, but no, I'm not gonna lie, they sold the bag there. It kind of slipped out of their hands. They did that Mario Kart animation where you just you spin out of control, and they don't find the map win, and we still got ourselves a game number 3, and I mean, there's no other way that we could really have it in the upper finals.
Absolutely, there's no other way we could have it. It's the upper finals, and these two teams have been so good so far throughout this tournament. And Sunset is just looking so prime. But just before we get to that, I think we do need to look at these stats. And I mean, look at it, Knights. 377 ACS, 6 first bloods, 30 and 15 with a KD of 2. A kill death ratio of 2 is it's a little ridiculous, I'd say. That's pretty impressive. And again, for Virtuosity, it's Bless on the leaderboard on that KO. It's just not as much impact as he had on Lotus. And part of me wonders if that's just due to Virtuosity's game plan on the defense.
Yeah, I think Virtuosity, they really, really struggled there. And with that being their map pick, I just don't quite know what they were intending to go for. It just didn't work out for them. And I just feel like World RyZe was struggling on that op. It just wasn't getting the value that they wanted. So the adaptation that they needed wasn't made. The timeout completely rendered useless, as not a single round was converted after that one. So that one, not the best of timeouts, or at least not the best of advice given there.
Yeah, for Team Virtuosity, it's all about this, that kind of fundamentally like trading style, where we can see a lot of these players show up and trade each other out. And we got a little bit of it, but I think by the time we were getting there on the defense, it was just too late, and RyZe was able to close it out. RyZe really did an excellent job on their attack half of playing with Virtuosity's defense, and Virtuosity not being able to capitalize off of that space that you are able to take on a map like Breeze. So for RyZe, it's a sigh of relief as we're headed to map 3, but for Virtuosity, they're going to have to get this mental reset in. We're going to let them do that for the next couple of minutes while we head to a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because this match has been a steamer, and you don't want to miss map 3.
Those medical pills all push me over. I kill my fill 3 times a day. These ethanol fumes won't make me sober. One flame to take the pain away. I caught you lighting matches in the back room. Haters look mad when they pass you. Let's talk about around when it's past due. Raise a glass to know you don't gotta fight alone. You don't gotta fight alone. The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, cats, and squirrels. We got map number 3 for you right now in the Titans of Tier 3 playoffs. The winner goes to the grand final. I mean, that's the big shebang. And yeah, I'm excited to see what map 3 has in store for us. My name is Ari Cass. I'm here with Ancient Angel. What map are we going to next?
Well, if you can read, then there's a good chance that you can already tell me, because Lotus and Breeze were map 1 and 2. They traded map picks. Lotus was picked up by Team Virtuosity 13-11. Breeze went the way of RyZe 13-10, and we have landed ourselves on Sunset as map 3. It's the newest map in the pool. It's my personal favorite to watch right now because there's so many cool and interesting ideas going about every single which way. I'm so excited to get into it, and because it's still so new, we've seen a lot of different comps, and I'm expecting 2 drastically different comps from these 2 teams.
Right, and I want to bring up before we even started map 2, I said that there was going to be a blowout by RyZe. Maybe not in terms of the score line, but that defensive half,
yeah,
that was a blowout.
Yeah, that's fair. It was definitely a blowout by Team Virtuosity, and already looking at these comps coming into things, T-Bite is hovering a Viper.
Okay, fair enough.
Coopert is hovering a Gecko. So there's no Cypher. Okay, doesn't go for the Gecko, does go for the Sova, but already no Cypher on Sunset, and instead running double controller is interesting.
I honestly don't like this play.
You don't like this from Team VR?
I don't. I hate Cypher as much as any Killjoy main would, but you need Cypher on this map. I feel like that's just a staple of why they're there. And Virtuosity, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to maintain the magic 2 words. What do I think? What do I say it is? Do you want to take a guess
Map
at what those
control?
2? Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, you know what? I'll play devil's advocate here. I'll say, you know what? I think there's a lot of agency that you can get on this Viper, especially if on your defensive side, you do end up just maintaining that kind of idea of playing for retakes, playing as a group, taking that space, right? It was something we talked about a lot on the defense of Breeze. But this time, this has to be done because there is no Cypher anymore on the side of Team Virtuosity. But that's about the defense. For now, we need to talk about that offense, and I think that the Viper, there's a case for it in the lurk ability, right? The fact that you have that Omen for those quick pivots over to whatever site, and you can constantly maintain that pressure towards one of those other 2 sites with that Viper Wall, with the Poison Orb. There's a lot of utility that you can get out of that Viper. We're just going to have to see if Virtuosity can capitalize on that and if they plan for this.
Is this really just becoming a battle of the lurks? I mean, we saw that Virtuosity was stomping over map control in map number one, and then for RyZe, they had those lurks just completely dominated in map 2, so it might be really just a 1v1 in terms of these lurks. We're gonna have to find out, but that's why we got plenty of Valorant still ahead of us. We got a whole 24 rounds available and plus an OT, so I would be very surprised if we didn't go to OT, honestly.
You think so?
I think we're going OT.
All right. I can respect that. The first 2 map scorelines were close enough, so I suppose it's possible. And you can see already this possibility of Market being the first site hit is going to be the case as Santa takes out Zaj. And now for RyZe, as they have only 2 players to defend this site, it's Pain to go huge for 2. And Knights on 1 HP, able to take out Bless. And World RyZe falls in kind, and now it's T-Bite in a 1v4. An ever increasingly unlikely 1v4. Knight's the first to fall for T-Bite as he has 50 seconds left on his clock. Picks up that ult orb, tries to get that Viper's Pit ever closer to being online, but I mean, this just feels like an impossible clutch.
Well, you said that there was only 2 players on B site, and then look what happened to that. So
Yeah.
you might say it's only 1 player remaining, but anything can happen. It's very
30
plausible.
seconds
And
left.
with this reposition, could be catching somebody off, but they are aware that this could be happening. It's just about the timing on this piece. Who's going to get it? See, T-Bite gets the first. Don't count him out just yet. Going to maintain at least control of the spike. Hey, there's
Surely
2.
Down.
Surely not, right?
Timing.
Yeah,
Surely not, as the timing betrays him. Pain with a 4K of his own. Able to deny T-Bite that spike plant with a couple right clicks of the good old classic. It's RyZe Esports to secure that pistol round here on the defense. And for the side of Team Virtuosity, I mean, it just fell a little flat. Maybe the shots weren't there. I don't know. How did we feel about that split on B where we go through Boba?
Well, I think it was the right call. They were kind of assuming that Cypher would be playing on B. I'm assuming what that game plan was. You think, okay, Cypher's playing B, let's pinch through Boba, through Market, somewhere like that. But instead, they're swapping it up this round, and World RyZe just can't get anything done. The right clicks from stunned up. It's not going to go great. And Knights just gets 3 on the round, and that leash is starting to come undone once again.
Last player
Knights,
standing.
3 on the round. He's looking for the ace at this point. If Zaj steals it, that's just bad manners from the breach. It's interesting that now we're seeing Zaj go over to that flashing initiator, right? I feel like we've been seeing so much of that double duelist that we would have kept seeing it even here on Sunset. But no, Zaj makes way for Knights, gives him the path forward as the sole duelist for RyZe. And, you know, now it's a full rifle round for Team Virtuosity and a bonus for RyZe. So this is the round where you really want to start seeing what Virtuosity can do, right, in these attacking rounds with that Viper.
Something I want to touch on is, I think on Breeze, neither team really interacted with those Cypher trips a lot. Nobody really kind of ran into them. It was very much heavily respected. So the fact that these rotates are coming out because of these Cypher trips is something that is very, very interesting and peculiar that both teams are doing it. But here comes a mid-fight, it looks like, and ooh, this could get very scrappy. Blast will find one, and there are
Spike
2
down
picks down. RyZe, they gotta be happy with that so far, and World RyZe gets tagged up by the boom bot, turns into a bullet in his head, and Santa's gonna have to back away here.
Gonna have to back away on this 2-on-2, but with those shadow steps available and T-Bite's conditioned lurking over towards A, it's not really conditioned yet. It's about to be, as RyZe are in for a rude awakening that spike has gone down on that A site. You know, it does kind of serve as, hey, look at T-Bite always lurking over towards A. You have to keep a player over there to catch him out. That plant, it's in for Santa, and you can hear the rotates starting to come in, those weapons being picked up, and that's the other thing, RyZe, on that bonus, pick up some rifles, so they have a way into this round.
Yeah, there's a way into this round, but remember, RyZe is on a bonus here. You don't want to be having a way, you know, typically, you don't even get close here, and the fact that they're so close is really, really nice, and looks like they're going to smoke off that spike. Cage as well, but mollies are there, and yeah, that's not going to go super well for Exile. T-Bite holding the spike, maybe not aware, but Santa's holding the cross, and it will get the job done. Virtuosity, a little bit costly, but they do get their round, so they're still very much in this one.
Yeah, nothing really to complain about from Virtuosity, but for RyZe, what a good play, shutting down that mid-aggression from Bless and from World RyZe. It really does kind of force that play in towards A, and for an eco round, you've done exceptionally well, or not an eco, but a bonus round. You've done exceptionally well for yourself in getting 3 of those rifles off the board. And now, Bless, Cooper, World RyZe, they're all on light shields. You can see it. There's, you technically have the economic advantage, even if it's only by $600.
Now, RyZe, they feel confident. You can tell just by their gameplay and how they're taking this space. It's really, really just, hey, I'm going to hold the angle, and it's going to work because I'm going to shoot you if you try and walk into my angle. But here's the execute from Virtuosity here. So it seems, but a blind, I think, going into World RyZe. World RyZe, though, does get the kill at the end of the day. Exile will fall, and Cypher, that big piece of utility, falls and goes down, but Knights is still existing. Don't you forget. Don't count him out. He's got that showstopper and has known to be very, very deadly. Oh, that tiny.
And Knights, showstopper in hand, ready to try and force out any sort of kills over towards this B main side. T-Bite rushing in through Boba. Knights with a huge double kill on Bless and Santa. It forces that save from T-Bite. He cannot contest this 1v3. The spike was not planted for him. And this is that lurk from Team Virtuosity starting to bite them in the butt here. They just can't have T-Bite get over in time.
Yeah, I mean, the lineup wasn't quite on the mark, and once you figure out that that's the case, yeah, it's worthwhile to save. 3v1, we've seen it happen before, but not today, not in this case. And Knights, that's the showstopper for you. We knew it was going to be clutch, just didn't know how clutch, and that's how much. If you didn't know, showstopper can be very, very broken in a 1v1 or even a 1v2.
We'll have to see what Team Virtuosity can do, what T-Bite can do with this hero rifle. The answer is find that opening pick on the Knights, and now as World RyZe takes the angle instead, he's gonna get stunned around, but iHendog won't be able to find the shots. So for Zaj, it's all about mitigating that damage, and he can only find Bless. It's thrifty round found for Team Virtuosity as this 2v4 ensues. RyZe, you have to try and move a mountain here, but with Pain only having a sheriff himself, there's so much that needs to be found, and there's so much that's been aware, but Cooper caught unawares! Oh no! He's gonna get found by Pain. Thankfully the refrag is there from Santa, and now that 1v3 for Exile is just too much. That hero rifle from T-Bite pays off dividends.
Oh, thank God he got that kill. Otherwise, that a good one. That luckily the kill was at least converted at the end of the day. But RyZe Esports, they lose that round. They gotta still be feeling pretty confident though, but they are forced onto this sheriff buy for the most part. You know, it is a half buy, but Virtuosity, it seems like these teams are back and forth, and it's not based off of their game plans. It's based off of mistakes. Every time a team makes a mistake, they get a round off of it, and that's
Exile.
just what it is.
So much utility dumped his way. Cooper cannot contest with that. Thankfully, though, Pain is there to trade back for RyZe. 4v4 ensues, spike planted, and T-Bite is a hell of a lot closer to the B site this time. But look at this 3-man flank from RyZe in through a main.
Oh my God. That was a beautiful shot through the smoke, but no more for Pain at least, as he will fall. And Knights, we've seen the heroics before. Can we see them again? And it doesn't look like it, as Bless will land those shots and even gets an extra one on the Hendog because of that one way. It's just left up to Zaj, but Zaj will not find anything for himself. So you got ultimates online for Virtuosity and an extra round too.
Well, it's another tech pause out from RyZe, and I think it's a little unfortunate that we're here and we're getting this one early, but I suppose it makes sense, as you know, no one's heating up just yet. It was a game that crashed. It is what it is. We get through it. You said
we had a steamer last game, and now you're
saying
it's
cooling off. It's cooling off now because of that tech.
Okay, well, I mean, cooling off, that might just be momentum as well. And I think last game, it played a lot bigger of a factor. I mean, you saw that tech pause come out, and then all of a sudden, just not a single round for Virtuosity. Now, it's 3v3 in terms of round counts. Nobody really has momentum, so nobody can really stop it. It seems pretty even. I guess, a decent time if you're going to have a tech pause like this.
I think that's pretty fair. For the rest of these teams, it's just about, you know, making sure that everyone's warm, everyone's ready. Everyone is, in fact, ready, actually, to jump back into things. We are halfway through the first half of the game here as round 7 is about to take place. It's full rifles out for both sides, so that is going to be pretty exciting. And when it comes to these teams, they're 3-3 right now. They're evenly matched. There is no difference in terms of the round counts of each of these squads. The only thing I would say going into this round that does need to be, kept an eye on is the fact that, there's 4 ults available for Virtuosity. There's the Viper's Pit, there's the Rolling Thunder, there's the Hunter's Fury, and there's that From the Shadows, in case Santa on that Omen wants to get a little frisky. And on the other side, it's really just that Nightfall that you have to contend with. So we're here, we're live in round 7, shots being taken every which way in towards that market door.
I want to see Exile get a little bit more value here. Not a kill on the board just yet, which, is fine. The map control still being displayed with those Cypher trips, but you got to question, like, hey, if you step up and you start getting some kills, are these rounds a little bit cleaner? Well, we're going to have to find out maybe a different time as some first contact is made early on A, but there we go. Now moving it over toward the Cypher site. Now's the chance, if any, for Exile to get this value, and look how many players are stuffed into CT. It's 4, and it's the instant flood with the breach ult.
It's the instant flood. They're out of that market smoke. RyZe is here, ready to contest. T-Bite's holding that cross, so they don't have to worry about mid. Instead, it's Cooper and Bless to take 2 shots in towards that Boba area, but Pain and Exile quick to respond. Santa in this corner, though, goes huge, able to find 2. Pain, 1v3, turns 1v2, sends that Boombot out. Pain on the tap, starts to swing out of that smoke, and RyZe goes down, but T-Bite is there for the trade. So Team Virtuosity able to take that 4th round. And they only had to use a Rolling Thunder to get there.
Was there 2 ultimates invested by RyZe there? Nope. Was there a Rolling Thunder and a Nightfall, or was that just
No, the Rolling
Virtuosity?
Thunder was Virtuosity.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I heard 1 or 2. Was a little bit confused.
No, it was just 1. It was just 1. Zaj is at 7 points to his Rolling Thunder, so should be coming online in these next couple of rounds. But we're past the halfway point, and now that RyZe is set to an eco, you do have to give a little bit of credit where it's due to this squad. You can already see all that utility being used. A trap play set for A main, but it's a trap that's avoided for now for Virtuosity.
Yeah, but they have these 4 ultimates still, like you said, and that's going to be the one that most likely secures them the round. I would say the one you want to use here is most likely Sova. You don't want to kind of use anything else other than that if you don't have to, but just taking the space up mid. Oh, Hendog could be in trouble. No, the high lows there accidentally, but ooh, trades. Trades are a thing, and that bomb, it's still there. It's still in top mid. You need to get it somehow, and it looks like it's just going to be a simple smoke to force that one off the angle.
A simple smoke to force it off the angle. The important thing for the remaining VR players is getting these guns, or preventing these guns from being picked up in the hands of any of these RyZe players. And Knights at about half health is going to start running all the way through the attacker spawn, headed over to B. You can see him. He's going. He's zooming as Santa plants in the back of the site. T-Bite takes a peek, but no one is found just yet because they are not aware of Knights 1X over towards B main. But
well, now they're aware.
He just has a Sheriff and 50 HP, right?
Surely not.
Surely not. Yeah, T-Bite making sure it is surely not going to be around for RyZe Esports as Virtuosity cleans up that eco. Make sure they play everything super well, right? You talked about that high, low, and mid when Santa and RyZe kind of combined to get 3 huge picks. It just looks good from them. It was a stable round, and now coming into these last 4 rounds of this half, we really do need to see what these ults that have been saved up can actually provide. What can Zaj do with that Rolling Thunder? What can Cooper bring with the Hunter's Fury? What can T-Bite bring with this Viper's Pit instead of the Neural Theft that would normally be on a Cypher?
Right, and Virtuosity, honestly, I'm okay with them investing too many ults here. If you use absolutely everything, I'm completely fine with it. And invest they will. RyZe will get that first initial pick, which I just feel like they're playing a lot more confident on this RyZe than they were on the Jett. It's just a lot more confident, and it's a lot more space that they're giving for their team.
Oh. The timing, it could have been so scary, but World RyZe is going to be able to sit down for now, keep things calm and collected. Santa is ready for World RyZe at a single moment to flash, to counterblind, make sure that that market push cannot come in just yet, but the timing betrays World RyZe in the end. Pain able to take him out. Rolling Thunder being used towards B-Lane, but it doesn't catch off T-Bite, and Exile sticking that defuse is eventually gonna have to get pushed off, and it's T-Bite to go huge for a 3K, and Cooper finds Pain in the end with the Hunter's Fury. Virtuosity, they've found 6, and it's been damn near flawless.
And that's exactly what I wanted to see. What did I say? Said that they can use all that in the kitchen sink. Use everything that you want. And as long as you convert this round, you're going to be in a great spot to convert out at least a few more rounds in the rest of this half. And seven's pretty good if you can get that. So Virtuosity, they're looking strong. And RyZe, they're struggling to get, I'd say, a few players activated right now. They're just not getting what they want.
And the other thing is, I mean, again, it's been 5 rounds in a row for Team Virtuosity. It feels like this Sunset, they're ready for it. They are drilled. They are prepared, and you can see just how important it is. Just how cautious they are. Cooper ready at a moment's notice to send out that drone, and the, oh my goodness, look at that satchel from World RyZe. Hendog is gonna fall off the back of it. You can already see all of these players funneling in towards Elbow. That space is fully clear. Pain is here, and he does take out Cooper towards short. But that means that this elbow peak, it's gonna be even more important to take. But World RyZe fully blind. Bless on the site is gonna fall to Pain. It's all falling apart as T-Bite falls to Knights, and now it's just Santa. A 1v3. Exile is gonna take some shots, but won't be able to find the kill just yet. 5 HP Santa can't find anything. RyZe stops the run from Team Virtuosity by getting a 4th round.
And it really comes down to that kill between Pain and Cooper there. If whoever gets that kill wins that round. And maybe, you know, the question is, should Cooper be a little bit more diligent there and try and drone that side out just in case? You saw the Omen there. You knew that they were there.
He already burned the drone.
Oh, he already burned the drone. Well, that's gonna do it.
That might be a problem, yeah. If you burn the drone, then you can't really use it again.
Yeah. Well, new changes coming to Sova soon? No, that'd be way too OP.
Yo, Sova gets 3 drones in a round.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They'd have to nerf the timing on that. Very much.
Well, on the other side of things, for World RyZe, it's about that mid push, and Pain is gonna trade him out. And for that, you know, we do land ourselves in that 4-on-4. The advantage for Team Virtuosity at this point is that RyZe are now going to be a little strapped for information. You don't have that fade to be able to poke and prod every which way, but you do have, on the side of Team Virtuosity, a Cooper, who's going to be able to take down Knight! What a dodge from the showstopper! Oh my goodness! No kills found for that 8-point ult. T-Bite gonna send out that Viper's Pit, but Santa's gonna get taken out. The Bloom from Exile. It's such a good timing on that cross. And all of these players are gonna get revealed. They're gonna start to get sprayed, but no kills found. I don't even think any damage has been found yet. Cooper just gonna try and plant this spike. There it is. It's gonna go down. T-Bite blessed in this smoke. Oh my goodness, T-Bite's fallen, and that's huge. A 2v3 with both of the remaining VR players at such low HP. And that's the smoke out as well. Oh, an Aftershock not gonna reach. Even if they wanted it to, Shock Dart's gonna go in. All this utility being used to delay. Spams being sent. Exile starts to stick. Ooh, stuns being sent, but Exile, you still haven't been spammed off yet, but the lineup has been there. Exile starts to peek. He gets the spike half, so he's gonna get the defuse. What a close round out of RyZe.
Full blind too, he gets that kill, and now granted he was there a little bit earlier just to sneak by the flash, but just imagine the world where that retake goes up cleanly. I mean, I feel like RyZe had the upper hand on that retake. It was very, very clean. They had the utility and the spam was there. It was beautiful. Virtuosity, they just started util dumping the heck out of it, and they almost got there, but they do fall short in the end. They have this breach. Rolling Thunder to get underway for this final round of the half, but it's not going to be an easy one by any means.
going to be easy, and you can already see, look at that. Double satchel in towards tiles from Knights. It puts him in such a stable position, and T-Bite is going to have to hold the brunt of this push out of A main, and he can't do it. So what's the response? Virtuosity jumps out into B. They've plunged deep into the site, and Exile is there, waiting. Hunter's Fury, and Nightfall being used, Rolling Thunder, everything getting used in towards market, out of market, everything. The only result is that Pain finds Santa, and now that Knights has got that activated sort of push onto the site, it's only up to Bless, and he falls. So at the end of the day, it's a tied 6-6. A flawless 12th round to end things off for RyZe.
Well, I
Switching
did say this
sides.
one would be going to OT. Do you believe me?
I do. I do at this point.
At this point,
what a half.
yeah. I mean, props to them for bringing it back. RyZe, they managed to just think it out, and they get it. And I don't even think they used a timeout there either.
No, there was a tech pause. I don't think there was a timeout. So, you know, for the side of Virtuosity, this defense is going to be really interesting. And you can see already 3 players grouped up towards mid. I think they're expecting a read here. But for RyZe, they are doing no such thing. They are just having all of their guns over by that B main position. Maybe a B split incoming. We'll have to find out. As you can see, heavy presence towards B. T-Bite is already gone. What good movement by Knights to just immediately dive right into that site. These players from Team Virtuosity are not ready for it. Coopert is gone, and so is Bless.
And now they hear the last 2. I think they just fight this. I don't think they care. I think they go for it.
You have to. I mean, the spike is planted. Sure, that nade gets used, and everyone from RyZe has to back away. But you know what? You're up 5-2. You have those trades, and it's a pistol round, so it's not like there's a crazy spray down that can go on. So as much as Santa is able to find 2, a third one might just be a bit too much to ask for RyZe. It's easy. You get that pistol round just like that.
And I think that this aggression's really going to favor RyZe here. I think that their playstyle is this aggressive nature. Once they can get that down, they are going to be dominant. So, what do I want them to do? I think they run it down. Wherever they want, wherever they feel confident, they will get the trades. They know they will. That's just the ironed out things that you see. It's just working for RyZe if you can get those trades. So, those clutches, if you want to leave it up tonight, that's okay. Anyone can really clutch on these teams, so Virtuosity, they need to find an answer to the aggression, and it's not by giving up some space.
Probably not by giving up space. I don't think giving up space is the answer, especially with a comp like this where, you know, I think giving up a little bit of space, like giving up maybe one side of the map is okay. But giving up both might be a bit too much to ask for, and for Team Virtuosity, as damage is the name of the game, they have done quite a good job at just trying to burn as much utility off the clock from these RyZe players as possible. You can see now as Coopert and T-Bite start to lean in towards mid, a peek from Coopert, it goes a little bit awry, and T-Bite is there with a ghost in hand, but unfortunately won't be able to find that kill. Knights cleans that up with that Sheriff, and now as this 2v5 ensues, because Zaj catches Santa off guard.
Enemy remaining.
Zaj, don't tell me it's a 3K, no. World RyZe able to find one. That's about as clean of an anti-eco as you can ask for from RyZe, I think.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And RyZe, they're looking really strong. I mean, what did they do? They got their early info, they played it a little bit slow, and then they hit where they wanted to go. And that's really what you got to do, is just have confidence in your call. If technically, on paper, you know, it doesn't always go this way, but if you 5-man rush, you know, one site, it's not going to be a 5v5. So you can do whatever you want, and you'll probably get away with it unless somebody has these magic moments and the god util in their favor. And, well, maybe the util's not there for Cooper, but certainly a gun is.
Yeah, once you get those rifles in your hands for Team Virtuosity, I think every player on this squad becomes a threat. But for the side of RyZe, as they start to rewrap towards a main, World RyZe sitting there with a jump peek, trying to get some information, now jiggling out. As that Prowler comes in, though, they've isolated all these players, all these angles. RyZe is gonna have to back up. It's a good flash by Bless to at the very least buy some time, and the swing from RyZe is good for one, but unfortunately, no more than that. So Santa is here, ready to take a peek.
I'll find you.
But Exile does fall away in time, but the spray isn't
Spike
good for
down
iHendog.
A.
It's just a couple missed shots. That's a spike fallen, so they know where this last player of Exile is. He's over towards that elbow area, and you can see the lineup. Exile, the shots are good. The teammate able to secure it, able to guarantee the round, and bring Virtuosity to a one-round game. RyZe Esports now 8-7.
That was a little bit closer than I thought that round was going to end. I thought it was just a one and done. Maybe, maybe you got a little close there on that trade, but wow. Yeah, come out with two, the chance to get three, but no, not quite. That's unfortunate for RyZe, but you got to feel, hey, we just killed 4 of them on our bonus round. That's pretty cool. You got to feel confident. You got to feel like this aggressive nature is working for you, and I don't think they're going to deviate from it at all.
No, and oh, the timing. Cooper, are you aware of it? Yes, you are. You swing right back out. You catch Knights off guard. What a good play. You guarantee your team the man advantage coming into the rest of this round, at the very least. I was going to say game, but that's really not how Valorant works, is it?
No, that'd be a strange adaptation. Maybe a strange game mode for Riot to develop, but for now, we're going to stick to what we got right now.
We're going to stick to what we got. RyZe starting to take that swing in towards mid. Going to get a fair bit of damage done, but unfortunately nothing else besides that. And for Cooper, yeah, you don't want to try and spam through that with a Vandal, my friend. A Phantom, it's a different story, but a Vandal might be a bit too much of an audacious ask. And for the side of RyZe, as they start to commit into B here, look at where T-Bite is. He's tucked in towards main, he's waiting, he's biding his time for this execute. And he's gonna be able to find Pain. At the same time, though, you do have iHendog over in towards the main, trying to take that fight, trying to trade him out. T-Bite at such low HP, he's gonna eventually fall to the hands of Zaj. And now, as Zaj swings into the back site to try and get some more numbers, the trades just don't go his way. It leaves Exile in a 1v2, and he just can't find it. Virtuosity tie us up. OT might be the move here, Ari.
I don't know what's happening. There's a lot that's happening in every single round, and I wish we had the time to break down, but we kind of don't. You only got that pre-round time to go, and RyZe is on that Sheriff buy, but we've seen him do it before, and Virtuosity, they've been looking strong with these guns, but it's not exactly free real estate. They still have one Spectre and a Guardian here, so anyone can pull this round out, but it's just, I feel like these teams, there's something is going wrong for either team every single round. I don't know if it's maybe a missed call or if it's somebody whiffing, but I feel like the mind games aren't quite perfect. Somebody is just stepping up each round, and sure, you'll love to see that, but I feel like there's more ways to manipulate how these teams are rotating.
Especially for a team like Virtuosity, right? Where they don't have the Cypher, there's no way to just fully lock down a site. You have that Viper who's a much more passive player. You have to be, a little bit more concerted in your efforts to take aggression and take space. And so for this side of Virtuosity, you're able to capitalize off this eco, and look at that! Cooper! What a good couple shots towards mid!
That's the power of the Guardian there for you, and that's why it's okay to buy a Guardian sometimes. It can surely replace that Vandal. If that spam is accurate, if you're pre-firing an angle, it can go anywhere for you, and T-Bite will fall off the molly, so that's at least a gun in favor of RyZe. There's potential for them to do this, and the TP is definitely heard. That TP is heard, but the question is he aware? No, he's not, and push to CT will be good for at least one. Let's see if they can get anything more, and there's the Tremor on out, but RyZe will pick one up. But Exile now having a round right now, and with 3 looking for 4 maybe. Here's the flash, the spam, not good through the flash, but the shot's there for Cooper. The Rolling Thunder is a thing, but 1 HP. That's all you need. Zaj will still get it though, which is crazy considering they were on that Sheriff buy.
That's such a stinger of a round to lose, no pun intended, for the Thrifty coming out for RyZe in that round. They were on that Sheriff buy, and it almost gives them the opportunity to get to double digits here. Team Virtuosity, you really only have Santa going on for that hero rifle, and even then, decides against it in the last moment. I mean, what a solid play from RyZe, able to get those trades. I feel like the push into the smoke from T-Bite just a little ambitious. Unfortunately, they're just not able to get that round, and now for RyZe, I feel like they've kind of set themselves up perfectly to take 10, and, you know, from there, as your momentum is in your favor, and you build back into those ults, it starts to look scary. It's timing, but it didn't really yield anything of, you know, significance, as...
No picks.
I think... Nope, nothing, but this pick from T-Bite, or this pick on T-Bite, is going to be very huge in deciding this round, and you can see T-Bite knows it. He wants to back up. He wants to give that space away as this A-side execute comes in.
Paranoia invested over Virtuosity to try and stall this one out, but it looks like the plan is to retake at the end of the day, so that they will, but Santa has an angle. I think they're aware, though, and oh, yes, they are. Blasto still gets one with that Sheriff before backing off. Damaged up heavy, but still available. Oh, that's not who I was shooting at, but it works anyway. Blast gets one, but the Showstopper getting one as well, so 2v2. Nightfall is used as well, and now Bless with the rifle looks really, really strong. Now it's the Rolling Thunder out in response, but not swinging off of it just quite yet. Bless will get the 4K on the round. The Sheriff to the rifle is all you need, and wow, Team Virtuosity,
Thrifty.
they traded Sheriff rounds.
I'm here to make money, not
What?
spend it.
What a Thrifty round. What is this back-to-back Thrifty I've seen from both of these teams? I thought Virtuosity, they set themselves up perfectly for a 10th, but, or not Virtuosity, RyZe set themselves up perfectly for a 10th, but now it's Virtuosity coming off the back of that play. You know, you have T-Bite running all the way back through elbow into CT, waiting for his teammates. Really, really good shots out of Bless to bless them with the man advantage into getting that 2v2. They're able to take it perfectly, and now they've set themselves up perfectly for a 10th. The only thing that's really going to stop them is Exile and Zaj on these two hero rifles. But T-Bite is definitely going to be prepared.
Or the Sheriffs. I mean, we've seen what they've done the past two rounds. I don't think it's necessarily
round in a row on?
Hey, I'll take it. I'll go for it. Sign me up.
We'll have to find out. This A site, it's been completely vacated, aside from Cooper, on that Sova, by that green box. It's the only thing that's contesting A site between being defender-sided territory and no man's land. And for Knights,
Noise.
this is such a good cut noise from RyZe, but Santa, he's not falling for it. He's not dropping from this angle yet. You can see that utility's gonna come back online, and in about 5 seconds, you're gonna see this execute start to come in. All that utility getting used. Pain's above the smoke, but the shots aren't there. And now that Cooper gets taken out by those Sheriffs, this site is given over to RyZe. They're respecting this showstopper for now, but Bless is gonna fall at the very last second. A 3v5 now for RyZe. As Virtuosity down the numbers, down the mans. Zaj, so much to do. Can't find that first kill, and World RyZe can only get one before getting traded. It's the entire world on Santa's shoulders as the children cry out. They want a present of a 10th round, but it's a back-to-back Thrifty out from RyZe. They're able to get it, and at this point, it's all just consolation frags for Santa.
Well, Santa at least doing some decent damage, and that might be a corner you're not going to check.
I don't think it is. Yeah, no. RyZe not checking that corner at all. I mean, what went wrong for Virtuosity there?
I don't know, but you doubted me. You doubted me. You said you said the Sheriffs weren't good enough. But time and time again, see, that's what we're seeing. These teams, they're in winnable rounds. They should win, but someone is making a mistake. The either map control isn't great, the IGLing doesn't work out, and right now, what was that mistake that past round? It was the fact that everyone insta-rotated. They assumed that it was going to be a hard hit, which, you know, fair play with the cancel, but you can't give up all of that space that easy.
Well, speaking of space given up, Knights tries to take it aggressively, and Bless is going to be able to shut him down. WorldRyze still stuck in this corner, will eventually fall, and Bless can only find one more before being traded out, so that's a 3-on-3. Zaj already out onto the site, but Cooper, good shots on that Sheriff, makes excellent use of it, and Santa here with that hero rifle will be able to find the remaining two. My goodness, can any of these teams win a gun round?
No. The answer is no. And why is that? I mean, it comes down to holding angles aggressively. For Virtuosity, they've been retaking. They've been gamble retaking, they've been spamming over those rotates, and it's been working for them. For RyZe, I haven't been quite paying attention, but you know, they're on the attack. So as soon as they aggress out CT, if they can get those picks before everyone has time to set up for that retake, that's when they're winning the round. And the fake, you know, really, really nice for that as well. But Knights, you know, we're going to see the same thing, hopefully, and Knights gets one trade.
Yeah, that's something kind of important here, as they did decide to force up. You can see that spike will be planted in the 4-on-4. No ults on the clock, so the only thing that you have to contest with on the site for Virtuosity is Exile in this Cypher. A Vandal is out.
Good.
The Mollies, they're just not going to clear him. They're not up. The Cyber Cage, though, it will be safe. Exile, now stunned. Zaj starting to break that door in towards Market. There's that op shot. It's ringing out. T-Bite falls because he doesn't clear Exile. And the shot from WorldRyze just isn't good either. It's now Bless in a 1v4, and Exile starts the wrap. I think at this point, Bless knows that he has no time. He has to save, and it's a couple good shots there. But at the end of the day, RyZe Esports will walk away with an 11th round, and it's yet another Thrifty. And I just have to mention this from Virtuosity. We didn't talk about it, but that's because it literally did nothing. WorldRyze had an op in that round.
It's just, that's what, 5 straight eco rounds in a row that are won?
This is 5 straight eco rounds.
Oh my gosh.
And also, just interesting stat line throughout this entire series. Every round where WorldRyze has had an op, they haven't won the round. Virtuosity.
Yeah. I mean, that one seems to make sense. And you want to know why? Space. Space, WorldRyze doesn't really take a crap ton of it on the op. Decides not to take that aggressive angle and doesn't opt for that aggressive play. But on the rifle, has no fear, insta-rotate is here.
Well, hey, speaking of that insta-rotate, it's not an A play, it's a B play. And the only one here to contest it is Santa. Up towards Market, will start to spam with that Vandal, but the spike's gonna go down. So Pain at 36 HP, doesn't matter. He's still gonna stay safe. So for Virtuosity, it's about this rotate into the site. T-Bite's still over towards A, trying to flush out any sort of lurks, but there's no lurks to be found. There's no lurks, so to speak.
Rolling Thunder, though.
Oh my god. Oh, that's a Rolling Thunder now used towards B main, but Exile again in the corner. He won't get checked, and Cooper's gonna go down. Blessed Santa are the first two to respond, and here it is. It's back-to-back rounds, but now a 2v2. It all relies on T-Bite on this flank, but he gets shut down. It's Bless versus Zaj, and Zaj gets it. A 3K on the round for the breach to bring RyZe to series point.
Match point.
And that was perfectly played. That was what you could do, Virtuosity. That was perfect. The only difference was if Bless decides, hey, instead of throwing that Aftershock, I'm going to throw a flash instead. Instantly you win the round. Because then Cooper goes down, or excuse me, Zaj, if they, wait, no, I got my breaches mixed up. Yeah, if Bless throws the flash, then you have that player that instantly falls, and oh, it's just a world of hurt for Team Virtuosity. Is now you are fighting for your tournament, not your tournament life, but your grand finals life right now in just one round.
Oh, and they're going straight into this Viper's Pit. There's no rotation called over yet. It's a Nightfall. It's a Rolling Thunder. All being used, all onto T-Bite, and he has to run away. He has to give up the site, and T-Bite will eventually fall to the paint shells, and Zaj spams out Santa as he tries to push out of that smoke. WorldRyze will start to respond, though, so at the very least, it's a hope for Virtuosity here. And Knights, he wants to shut it down. He wants this series over. It's now Bless and Cooper, the two initiators for this squad. They have to try and do it all. These are names that we talked about so much. It's Bless, the best rated player in this series so far, the MVP for them on every single map. And Cooper stunned up with time ever ticking, with utility going every which way, being traded out. The blind is good. Cooper doesn't stick. The time won't be there. It's RyZe Esports 13-10 for a second time in a row to take the series against Team Virtuosity.
Wow. I mean, it's just a poetic ending. Sure, it wasn't the overtime that we predicted, but I think that one goes to show that players, if they're good, they can do anything with any sort of gun. I mean, 5 eco rounds in a row is absolutely absurd.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what else to say other than that. It's absolutely insane that we just saw 5 eco rounds in a row. 5 rounds where the team that should have won lost. And at the end of the day, it was the advantage and the chaos that ensued in those 5 rounds that allowed RyZe to capitalize. They conditioned and they won off the back of it. Stats for this last map, they're going to be on the screen in just a second, but I mean, God, what a series.
I'm curious to see what the top eco ratings were for this game, because
you want me to tell you? I have them up. So
yeah,
I
what's
mean, we're
the
gonna
top eco rating?
Yeah, the econ ratings from this game were absolutely atrocious. The highest one was Knights at an econ rating of 69. Nice. But I mean, look at the ACS. Knights 302 ACS, Bless 275. Again, the same 2 players that we talked about in those first 2 maps. It was Knights on RyZe and it was Bless on Team Virtuosity. These 2 guys have been insane for their teams.
It's a backpack diff. It's who can carry their team harder, and turns out the answer is Knights off the back of the Duelist. I mean, what are you gonna do? That's Duelist. That's the fragger. That's what you gotta do. And Bless, maybe the reason that Bless had so much success is because, you know, your initiator is supposed to go in second, meaning that World RyZe was having a little bit of trouble going in first. That was maybe the key to their winning. But, you know, Virtuosity, they ended up taking the game over league play. RyZe, they strike back over in playoffs, but that's not the end of Virtuosity. They still have a lower bracket to make it through, but RyZe, we'll see them in the grand final.
Yeah, that's going to be next week. And for Virtuosity, they just have to, you know, reset, take that lower bracket with stride, get a couple wins. There's some pretty good teams down there. I know Thugs is down there, so anything is possible. But for us, I know what's possible for us. We have to close out today, Ari. Unfortunately, our best of 3 is over. Our contractually obligated 3 maps, not 3 rounds, 3 maps for the day are done. So you and I are gonna have to say goodbye. Our Twitters are just beneath our names, so you should go check us out. I'm sure we're gonna be keeping you up to date with what we're doing. And thank you all so much for watching. We'll have to see you next week for the most insane grand final. But there's still more Valorant to come this week. Don't worry, it's not all over just yet. Thank you. Shout outs to Nick NCS for producing. But that's it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. No relation. We got no relation. No relation. It's crazy. And it goes like, wish that you could save me from my Rising with each beat of the music is bringing the real flames in the fire that keeps burning.